What's up, guys? Welcome to Toaru Podcast number 8. And today we've got some familiar faces yet again. Emerald's returning from last time, and so is Malcolm. And we also have Toonie joining us. Welcome back to the podcast, man.
Hello, glad to be here.
We'll skip introductions since you should all be familiar with us. If not, then what are you doing? Go back and watch the previous ones. It's like standard.
Yeah. We're basically micro celebrities at this point.
Yeah. The celebrities of the Toaru fandom. What a prestigious title that we are all blessed with at this moment in time. Because there's nothing going
so
on.
Than others.
Yeah, but you should start making videos, Malcolm. You told me a while ago you were thinking about making some content.
There needs to be more of us.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm just busy with being lazy.
All right.
Yeah, but I think you got some good ideas from what you told me. I won't reveal anything in case you just want to keep it a surprise. But I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm planning on working on some of it soon. I've been addicted to RuneScape lately, so that's been caught up, but I've sort of cooled down on it a bit. So
the game that will never die.
I thought the game did die.
Nah, it's like old school RuneScape. So
okay,
yeah.
So I wanted to talk about many things, but one of them is like Emerald mentioned this to me before we went live, and just Twitter in general about Toaru or just the drama that just happens on an everyday basis. Toonie, have you ever followed any of this? Do you notice any of the hot takes that go on Twitter?
I've seen a lot of ongoing things that are really repetitive.
Yeah, because it's always Toma versus Misaka fans just tearing each other apart, and it's why can't we all coexist and live in peace?
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
I've even seen this on the TikTok side a bit.
Really?
There's a few Toaru TikTokers surprisingly, and it's their comment sections are a mess.
What does Toaru TikTok even consist of?
It's just
I'm curious.
Either clips of the anime. It's Toaru funny moments number 158. It's this one TikToker that's on part 170. It's crazy.
Please, let's get him on the podcast.
At that point, you just have the entire anime just posted on TikTok.
Yeah. There's actually quite a bit. It's quite funny, actually.
Oh God.
Did you say there's hot takes on a Toaru TikTok as well?
Yeah, mainly I've seen people mainly do a lot of rankings. There's a few creators that rank their favorite characters, rank their powers, rank their stuff that. But then where the hot takes are from are mainly a lot of the comment section just debating, and it's just an endless amount of comments on each video.
Fascinating.
Dang.
Yeah.
Need to get on Toaru TikTok. See what's going down.
It's amazing that it's spread even there. It's like the virus. It's just everywhere and won't go away.
So, what are some of the crazier takes that you guys have seen?
Recently, I won't name any names because I'm not like that, and I'm not going to, spread that toxicity or anything like that. But I don't know, I think I showed it Malcolm, and I don't know if it was bait or something, but the way it came across, I don't think it was bait because the replies in the comments were pretty serious from what I saw. But there was a guy oh yeah, there are literally no good female characters or villains in Index or something along those lines, and he read up he read up to Old Testament 18 or something. But still, come on, you've got a good selection there, even at the early start, if you want to call it that. That's what I was baffled by recently. I was like, what?
no good female characters. They said.
Yeah, like from apparently he's
Really?
watching anime. I don't know, but from like Old Testament 1 to 18, there are apparently no. I think he conceded that Kanzaki's good, and I think that was it.
Okay.
And
I
maybe
mean,
Mugano.
if this series is like 70% female or something. I'm thinking, why would you read 18 volumes of a series where like 70% of the characters are just bad?
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you, Forensic, for the super chat.
Yes, thank you very much. Just didn't want to interrupt that discussion there. Yeah, thank you, Foren.
Are we
Appreciate
splitting
that.
it again?
Oh yeah. So that's 25 cents each. Let's go. Yeah. I'm not being Ebenezer Scrooge this Christmas. Pennies to Tiny Tim and everyone.
I'm still waiting on my last paycheck. I didn't get my 50 cents.
Oh, my bad. Just hit me up and
All right.
I've got some, pennies in my wallet at the moment. Well, I'll count them later, but yeah, I'll either mail them to you or just do it. I mean, that's the traditional way, or transfer. But I don't know if there's a limit on 50p's or whatever on PayPal or whatever it is. I don't know.
You're gonna pay more in fees just to transfer it than you will actually give them money.
Anyways, about the hot takes, what I've noticed is that I think when you first get into any series, you think that everyone just like unanimously holds like some opinion. Like I thought Shokuho was literally just like a unanimously loved character until I looked at Toaru Twitter.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, even like Railgun, like onlys, I've seen people not like a character, which is fair. I mean, she's pretty much written at the start for you not to like her.
Yeah.
Like she's written in the way to basically say a massive fuck you to the Rail Gang and Makoto, and she's basically presented as the villain of the arc, where it's like, oh, the plot twist, oh no, she's not the villain, she's actually trying to help, but just in her own way with her own morals, which I found quite interesting. To be fair, when I didn't know anything about what happens in New Testament, which I won't spoil.
Sometimes I feel like a lot of Misaki's hate from the Railgun side is purely stems from the fact that she is like not Makoto's friend, like they're rivals in it. And I think a lot of people, because a lot of like Railgun fans are really crazy about Makoto, like they can't. That first impression sort of set in, and it's never really been able to like overcome it, despite I think a lot of her character progression being really, really strong and like explaining a lot of why she does what she does.
Yeah, totally agree. It's literally waifu tribalism. Which is my new favorite term that I came up with yesterday.
I just feel like people are afraid that there's another waifu competition for these Railgun fans. Like it's either Misaka or nothing with most of these people I see on Twitter.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, to be fair, I don't kind of blame them per se, because, well, when I first got into like the anime, I feel like Misaka was given like the most like attention and character depth out of like most of the other females, at least from the anime. That kind of changed like Railgun T. I mean, you could say Last Order as well, but it's more accelerator focused. But yeah, I feel like Misaka was kind of like prioritized more than like Index or Kanzaki in terms of fleshing out her character.
Yeah, it's not all Railgun fans or it's not like every fan that hates Misaki, it's for that reason. But I do feel like a lot of them, it's purely because Misaki just isn't like a Makoto enjoyer,
Yeah, I mean, I think once you kind of decide your favorite early on, it's kind of like you feel the need. Some people feel the need to defend that character or always hold that character as their favorite, no matter what happens later on in the story.
Yeah, that can be pretty frustrating though, because sometimes people like completely ignore like character flaws, like character flaws that are put in there on purpose for her to develop into a stronger character. They're willing to just ignore those character flaws and pretend like she was always perfect, purely because like the idea of their character being flawed, even if it was intentional, is like this terrible thing, which I don't really like people going into that sort of getting into that sort of mindset, because you sort of ignore what makes the character great whenever you ignore their flaws being overcome.
Oh, definitely.
It just feels like it'll stem from Evangelion with like Asuka versus Rey, and it's just never going to stop. It's just going to be the battle throughout the ages between
it literally
rival
never will
ships or whatever.
Like we could never get any more Evangelion content for like the next 3 centuries, and I think people will still be debating that.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, I didn't really notice it, like, because obviously, like, the new movie came out. When did it come out? Like a few months ago or something like that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't really notice it then, but I mean, it kind of like those two characters kind of were archetype characters in a way, because they kind of set the trend for like tsunderes and kuderes, and it all. Well, a lot of it stems from that, basically from the anime that was inspired by Eva.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like when you become fanaticized over 2D characters and waifus, and you just like can't accept like criticism of them, that's when it just gets toxic. Like,
oh yeah,
I made that Misaka video, but for the most part, like I don't mind if like people like disagree with my take or whatever, or agree with it. I mean, yeah, for the most part, everyone was like chill, but there were like a few individuals like on social media that just like completely like just ignored what I was saying or misinterpreted it or put words in my mouth and thinking I hate Misaka, and I'm like, what the hell? I literally say I like her, and it's just you judge Misaka for having pointless scenes, yet so many characters have pointless scenes, and it's like, you're missing the point. It's like, come on, are you even listening? It's like, ugh.
Basically, the rule of thumb is if you can remove a scene and it doesn't actually, or like a scene or a plot point and it doesn't affect anything else, it's usually not a very good scene or plot point.
Yeah, I mean, go on.
I can see that, but at the same time, I kind of think that those, I guess you could call them pointless or unnecessary scenes, do add a lot of life to a series. I really enjoy like some of the slice of life sort of scenes from Index and Railgun, of course. And okay, well, I was going to bring up an example from New Testament, but I guess I can't do that. I guess to me personally, I just find it a lot more enjoyable probably than most people. I feel like a lot of people will read an arc and they just want to immediately get into the nitty gritty. But I just find the build up to be very enjoyable with a lot of the slice of life moments. And I think it adds a lot to I think it adds enough to the characters.
I mean, like I usually make an exception for like slice of life because it's sort of a character development, like getting the viewer to understand the characters in a sort of easy to digest way. But for example, like an example Aeon used in his Misaka video, if you were to completely remove the Makoto taking out a nuke from or if you just remove the nuke in Makoto from World War III, nothing would have changed. So
that's what JC Staff did.
Yeah. Like there was no like greater purpose to the nuke. Like if Fiyama was maybe using the nuke to trigger some sort of magical spell, then it would have like worked into the story. But it was just someone's firing a nuke. Makoto stopped it. Doesn't play into any other aspect of the story, which is usually like it sort of takes away from the value of that action.
Okay, I get that. I think I kind of misinterpreted what you said. I had assumed you were actually talking about specifically like the slice of life moments.
Oh no, I mean like you can sometimes. Nah.
What were you gonna say, Aeon, before I cut you off?
Oh, I forgot, but I'll address what you were just talking about then. No, in my video, like I kind of blended both. Oh yeah, those side, like I kind of categorized them as side quests and then the slice of life moments. But yeah, like I don't mind slice of life in Index. I really like it. I do agree that it does add character and they are quite amusing and fun to watch. But it's about efficiency and when you have a character like Makoto that appears like more so than any other heroine, probably Index is just about the same or just falls short of that. Then I feel like, there needs to be a clearer focus and direction to her where a character is going to end up than just having her do the slice of lifey scenes. And okay, you could say Index is like that because she does the head biting gimmick and stuff like that, but she's already been like, Index has already been rinsed to oblivion by literally everyone like in the fandom for that. So it's like there's nothing more to add. Like, okay, everyone knows about that, but with Makoto, no one really gives it as much attention. But no, some people thought, but from that that I hate like Old Testament 12 or something, which is entirely slice of life apart from the end. Like the bit before Vento appears. You probably know that from the anime Toonie.
Can you remind me of which arc OT12 was?
It's the Academy City Invasion arc. It's the bit before Kihara, Mata,
Okay.
and Vento show up. When he in that shopping mall and shit.
Honestly, I haven't read the novel for it, but the anime, I really enjoyed that part. So, I think
that's one of the best parts of the anime.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it sort of earned that slice of life stuff because it did ultimately like play into the story because it sort of set up all these characters. It sort of put them in all the locations they needed to be in order for like the climax to really build up. And then it also sort of set up a lot of character introductions and stuff that hadn't been set up or like really visited and sort of refreshed those in order to add some more like drama to the story. So I find that slice of life really like well done and earned.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it from the perspective as it's kind of like the calm before the storm because you get to see what Academy City could be like if all these wacky characters just get to live a happy and normal life in a way. But then you get pretty much the first step to World War III with Vento invading and Kihara and Mata showing the dark side as well. So I kind of like that spin on it in a way, if you can call it that.
I mean, I do think a lot of the slice of life elements do kind of, like you said, add a lot to the world building of Index. And I think it plays a part into why Index does have such great world building, maybe even the best world building in anime.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
But I agree.
Is it that hot?
No. I feel, well, yeah. I mean, in terms of the anime, maybe. But I don't know.
Well,
a lot of people
I'm
don't
using anime
regard
most.
indexing like the highest, world building, do they? If you talk about the average anime fan.
I would agree in terms of like how Komachi has so many works going in, and yet they all sort of blend together. Because like you'll see a lot of these popular light novels and mangas and animes get spin-offs, but usually like it's either like a prequel that just introduces a character, but none of it really plays into the greater narrative other than, oh, this is this popular character before they arrived here and their motivations. But it doesn't go beyond that. Like in Railgun, they have the aim burst arc, right? And that sort of plays into Kanzaki. Like you can relate that to not Kanzaki, Kazakiri. Because that's all connected to that. And you sort of see just all these narratives that sort of play back into each other.
Yes.
Rather than it just being this one standalone story that could have been removed and it wouldn't have really affected the greater narrative. Or like lessened your understanding of the world.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the interconnectivity of just all of the Toaru franchise, I think, is what makes it such a special series in comparison to every other like anime, light novel, and manga series that exist out there. It's just like an experience that I think you literally can't get anywhere else. It's what makes it so unique, and it's one of the reasons I have just become a huge fan of it myself.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think like how railgun onlys function. Because don't get me wrong, like no, I mean you can enjoy just watching railgun on its own, I guess, but I don't know. You like you said, you get that interconnectivity, like the dragon reveal. It's like, oh, that pose, that goes back to Deep Blood Arc, whether the dragon was real or not, and then that pretty much gets answered in railgun. So that's probably the biggest example you can probably think of.
Yeah.
So I do feel like they complement each other well, and I don't think it's right to remove one or the other in a way.
Yeah, it makes you really appreciate everything that goes into it.
Yeah, it's part of why I don't like to say that, oh, I like Index more than Railgun or Railgun more than Index, because it's kind of just the accumulation of it all that I think is what I love so much.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we move on?
Yeah, I don't even think we hit the first topic that we had listed.
Oh, well, they weren't in alphabetical order or chronological order. We can just interweave. I mean, yes. Do you want to talk about Dengeki Fest?
They're
Briefly.
hard to talk about it now that they're sort of backing down on some of the Index stuff, it seems.
Yeah, I saw that they removed Index, like the character render from like one of the promotion graphics.
Yeah.
And like, oh no.
What the heck?
Just starts playing the end of Evangelion theme.
Yeah, so with her gone, I mean, the only thing we can really do now is like speculate as to why, because I don't see her getting an announcement anymore. Which, if I wanted to play it, if I wanted to be optimistic about it, I would say maybe they had a project, but it's behind schedule, so they pushed back the announcement. Pessimistically, I think there was never an announcement.
Yeah, I don't know, because if you do remember when this was a while ago, when Mickey made that tweet saying Railgun T isn't going to be the last, project or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It does make you think, okay, when's the next one?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess it's just a matter of time.
We've already waited, like 8 years for one thing to disappoint us. So what's another 8?
Well, at least it came in a package. But do you think we'll get like another package of free anime? Like, imagine if we got I don't know, Index season 4. And then, I would say Railgun Season 4, but I don't think there's enough, content in Railgun to adapt yet, unless they want to do the second half being filler, like they do with the first 2 series.
I would prefer that to never happen.
Yeah. I don't know. We got the Chad Korazuma from Big Spider, who can just fucking dodge bullets and shit.
What, one good 3 episode arc? No,
it was worth it just for him, man. What can I say? He's a milk addict, just like me when I was younger. That's how I got so tall, just drinking shit ton of milk.
That's how you grow those boobs, right?
Of course.
I don't know.
I'm quite excited for Dengeki Festival because, even if it's not Index, obviously new types the main thing I want or anything Toaru related. But I just feel like in general, there's a lot of exciting stuff that can happen. I know there's a pretty popular series right now called Spellblades, the 7 Spellblades, and I want that to get an anime. It's pretty good. So there's like a lot of little things, and like I know they're gonna obviously show some trailers for stuff that's like already announced, like Devil's a Part-Timer, probably like Strike the Blood final season, stuff like that, and like the regular Magic High School. So there's a lot of stuff for that. I just hope there's something Toaru related, because I feel like Index is a super popular character, a part of Dengeki Bunko. So I'm just hoping, of course.
Finally get the Alistair Idol anime.
Alistair Idol?
Oh, have you not seen?
What? That's a thing?
Or an Alistair Idol, Accelerator Idol.
Oh, I know about Accelerator Idol. Not to say.
I know. I was about to say.
I mean, it's all according to Alistair's plan, obviously. So it's Alistair Idol.
I mean, I think in one of like the parody, obviously non-canon.
It is
obviously non-canon parody. Oh no, I don't mean Idol. I mean someone else. There's one of those stories where Alistair's like is he like the governor or like the chairman of Toma's school?
In one of the side stories, like the novel.
It's one of those parody stories. Yeah,
I think it's the one where like you see in like they're graduating their high school, right? I think.
Yeah, and then Toma punches Alistair.
Yeah, and Accelerator's like his classmate or whatever.
Yeah. That's a good story, to be fair. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. Like I don't know if you guys have read all of Idol. So Idol Accelerator spoilers. So these are dead serious spoilers for something that clearly is important to the overall plot. Wink, wink. But no, like Alistair doesn't appear in Idol, and I was like, oh, that's a bit sad. But like pretty much most of the characters from Index did appear in it, apart from like New Testament ones. But like all the Old Testament crew appeared in, which is good. But yeah,
I've never read it. So do people like genuinely really like it, or is it just kind of like a meme?
Both.
Oh, well, can I answer this? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So, it's great. Like I absolutely love it. It's I think it's the funniest parody of Index by far. Like it's not just about Accelerator. It's got like a lot of the Magic side Index characters in it as well. Like it's just a huge parody of like Old Testament basically, with some certain scientific Accelerator characters in there as well, because Esper's in it. But yeah, it's honestly really funny. I won't say about like jokes or the events that happen in it, but I do highly recommend reading it.
All right. Well, yeah, I should check it out. I don't know if any manga will ever live up to it after I've read it, but
yeah, it was good as well, because like in Imaginary Fest, like Accelerator in his idol costume got added to that game. So Nobuhiko Akamoto, the voice actor for Accelerator, actually like voiced like some of the lines, and he says something like "Psycho no idol" or something like that.
Yes.
And it's fucking hilarious. So yeah, it's only like 30 chapters long as well, so it's a quick read.
There's like on YouTube you can find like these idol songs, like or character songs that they did back at the original Index. I don't know if they like keep doing it or if it's common anymore, but you'll have the voice actors singing a song about their characters. So you can find like Accelerator's voice actor singing a song like from the perspective of Accelerator, and Toma doing the same, and it's just interesting niche Index lore.
I have seen some of those character songs before. I can't remember which ones I listened to though. Should go back and listen to some of those.
Have you listened to some, Toonie?
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't even name one, if I'm being honest. Sort of just like pop up randomly.
Yeah, I think Accelerator's called 99.9% noisy or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and someone just commented about the Himigami song. I agree. Himigami song is actually like one of the best. funny enough, because Himigami is basically just like a blank slate in like the anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like if you add like the Himigami song, like honestly, I feel like the Himigami song characterizes Himigami better than the actual fucking anime, which is so sad.
Oh wow!
I gotta check that one out.
I'm checking
Yeah,
this
if
out.
you look at lyrics, because obviously I don't understand Japanese, and I don't think any of you do here.
No.
But yeah. How many songs got made? I'm just trying to think. I think Toma got one.
10,032 got one. Mikoto got one.
Yeah, most of like the early cast of Index, apart from like I was about to say Himigami, apart from like Komoi and Alistair maybe.
Did Kanzaki get one? I think she.
Yeah, Kanzaki got one.
I
Kanzaki's
specifically
one.
remember Style and Kanzaki getting one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Kuroko, but maybe not.
Yeah, Kuroko got one.
Oh, wait, I think I listened to that recently. I think. I'm pretty sure I did because I like to look up sometimes like what music projects voice actresses have worked on. And so Satomi Arai, Kuroko's voice, I was just kind of listening to everything that she had, and I saw she had a Kuroko song, I think.
She does.
I think I listened to it recently, yeah.
Yeah, she talks about her pleasures and stuff like that. And interprets whatever you wish.
Did Railgun Season 1 get character songs? Like, is there a Satin and Uiharu?
I
never checked for them.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Oh, yeah, Last Order got one, yeah. I remember that.
Interesting.
Oh, someone said Satin and Uiharu got their own song each and a duet song.
Okay.
Oh, I have not listened to that one.
Yeah. Oh, and he said there's also a Kuroko and Mikoto duet song. Okay.
Damn.
Wow, there's like a lot. I had no idea.
Dang.
Same. Like, I didn't know there was duet songs for Railgun. Like, that's crazy.
Is there just a Toaru album?
Yeah, right.
Further
someone released that shit.
Better than Index.
Give me that Toaru voice actor mixtape.
For sure.
Get that.
I'll play that extremely loud in my car in my neighborhood and see if anyone dares to stop me.
Just play an Accelerator ASMR. And it's just him making the noises.
Accelerator about to kill you ASMR.
That sounds terrible.
Bro, you'll make all the fangirls just
I would
go crazy over that.
I would listen to that while I sleep at night.
It is kind of funny though. Like, can we talk about Accelerated fangirls for a bit?
Sure.
Go for it.
Because I feel like it's a trope. Because yeah, Feren is one of them in the comments, but it's like I don't know. It's like a recurring theme with like I don't know girls who like sort of the crazy psychopath like character who could kill them at any second. Because I feel like that's kind of like what like Twilight and shit like that.
I think it's the
Panda 2.
The I can fix him sort of idea.
Yeah. It really is. I'm not like saying, oh yeah, Accelerator is Edward, because I think one character is slightly better than the other.
Accelerator's wider than Edward.
Oh yeah, I mean they both sparkle, don't they? Both can climb trees. Anyway, yeah, it's like that. I don't know. I guess girls like that.
I mean, to be fair, I see a lot of guys that also like girls that they think they can fix, and they're usually yanderes. I have a friend, obviously I won't name him, who is like this.
Okay.
Yeah, but crazy stuff. Who is the female form of Accelerator? What's her name?
Suzushina Yuriko.
Yeah.
What did the Accelerator fangirls think of her?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know. I don't think they really acknowledge her. If you want to call it her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's more of a meme. She was a character in the Index MMO. You could actually get her.
Oh wow. On Twitter I saw this picture of someone got the New Testament 3 cover art and they replaced Mikoto with Suzu.
Yeah.
and it was why was she so cute?
Yeah, it's
confused.
unfair. Yeah, if Accelerator was gender bent, then like he would be best girl. You can't even like fight it anymore.
I would agree.
Also,
I'd have to. He'd kill me if I didn't.
Also, I remember like before Index 3 came out or any of that shit was announced, there was like an April Fool's like promotional video of like Suzushina Yuriko, like a 16-second one. It was on, I think it's on YouTube, it probably still is, and it's like hinting that there's going to be a Suzushina Yuriko anime. And I can't remember who animated it. Was it a fan or was it legit?
It was, you know that. Well, she's a Twitter artist, a Japanese Twitter artist. She actually, I've heard she works for Dengeki in some way, and she actually did do some artwork for Index, like for like a 4-coma thing. But yeah, it was it's sort of half fan, half professional. It's weird. When she made it,
legit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Fandom. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely gotta have something because I know it's like I'm pretty sure it's on like Annie list.
Someone said it's on Mal.
Yeah, so there's like must be some like legitness to it. The deep lore.
I'd watch it.
Same.
It's just one of those weird moments in the novels because it's not really a thing in the anime. It's where like Toma's just like, was he like daydreaming in class and he's just like, oh,
it was
I wonder
the manga, right? Isn't that what she was mentioning? Or it visually shows Suzushina in the manga.
Oh, okay.
Like
in
in
his
his
mentioned in the
bubble.
novel. Yeah. It's like I don't know. He's like, I wonder what would happen if Accelerator came into class and Accelerator was a girl. And it's like,
yeah.
Toma?
It was Himegami was transferring into his class, I think, and whenever he heard a transfer student, he was like thinking worst case, what's the most misfortune? And he was like, could it be Accelerator or Suzushina Yuriko dressed up like actually the Accelerator or whatever? Or like was it Makoto lying about her age? That was the
all right, yeah. All right, yeah, that makes more sense. But I don't know, it's kind of funny how Tomo just automatically thought of that. And I guess that's why some people ship Tomo and Accelerator. But yeah.
Crazy stuff.
All right.
The series runs deep.
Right.
too deep.
It does. The rabbit hole, the iceberg.
There needs to be more fangirls on Twitter to just push everything Accelerator related. Like even if like, let's say if like Funimation were to post like just a screenshot of him, there needs to be like a lot of impressions. We need every single fangirl on Twitter just to reply to everything.
Oh, depends how many. Yeah, depends. I don't know.
I'm only saying that because with the Yen Press Twitter, we post quite a bit of Bungo Stray Dogs because the entire fangirls like spam it, so the impressions are like super high. Like,
oh damn!
Like we could tweet anything Bungo Stray Dogs, and it does pretty much better than any other tweet. So like, imagine if same was for Accelerator, you would see Index everywhere on the timeline. Right.
Does that translate to sales?
Who knows?
Okay. I guess I'm gonna make a new Twitter account where I pretend to be an Accelerator fangirl.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Being like one of those K-pop stands that like post the reels all over.
Yeah, everyone just make Twitter accounts, respond with Accelerator gifts on every Twitter.
Oh, wow.
What is it like working for Empress Toonie? Tell us.
I mean, I like it. There's a lot of stuff. Obviously can't say, but it's great, especially working in this industry, working with Index being like my favorite series, so it's super sick. I designed a few covers recently, like the new Sword Art Online and ReZero volume covers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, now I'm a part of marketing, so I do like a lot of social media and stuff like that. So I'm knowing a bit more behind the scenes of like socials and the fan bases of like all these communities and stuff. So it's great, and it's so great to see the Index manga still it's doing its thing. The Index manga. So yeah, obviously not saying too much into detail. I will say there is self-awareness with like that's all with the man's quest. There's self-awareness.
That's pretty sick.
All right,
Like-
that's good to hear.
So do like you mentioned about the fandoms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Does the Empress like actually look into like the fandoms of like each series like
Oh, yeah.
beforehand before like publishing it, or just to observe like how popular it is or what the fandom's like?
Yeah, so I'd say definitely looking into like the community aspects. For most of the series we are going to do, there's not much of an establishment that's in English yet. So there's not kind of hard to see, but you can definitely tell by popularity like stuff in Japan. But for our ongoing series, we always look at that type of stuff. Like Toilet Bound, Hanaka-kun, Bungo Stray Dog, Solo Leveling, those are pretty strong ones, for example. And then like I checked out Strike the Blood recently. I've been really liking it, but we've been noticing there's not like too high of a demand for it. And like there's some ongoing stuff that's like pretty popular. That just the fan base isn't as strong. But definitely overall, even like if it's not strong, like if it's ongoing, of course you're gonna keep on going with it. But it's super interesting just in general as a fan standpoint to know like behind the scenes and everything. It's pretty interesting. But there's definitely known that there is, well, I'm a part of marketing, so it's kind of like my job. So I know that there's a Toaru community. I know about all these communities and then like all the team and stuff. So there's definitely a lot of community things. And with new series, we look up like just in general, like will it do well? How's the popularity with sales? So it's definitely every time something is happening, it's always a deep look into. We just don't try to take everything.
That's good. I'm glad y'all continue to publish ongoing series. I know like years ago, I don't know if it still happens often, but companies would pick up light novels and then like they wouldn't do as well and they would just stop publishing halfway through. And it's just anybody who was a fan got stuck with like plot or like cliffhangers, and because they still always like owned the rights to it, no one else could publish it. And
it was a huge mess when Tokyo Pop like shut down. No one was really able to pick up their license because I'm assuming the licenses were still connected to them, even though no one was able to work on them. So if you've seen like a company called like J Novel Club, I'm pretty sure that's how they operate. Like this, like a few, they pick up like some of the lost license from like Tokyo Pop. I've noticed. So like I know they're one of their more popular series right now is The Sentence of a Bookworm, and I know that's doing quite good. And there's like a few other light novel series, so it's just interesting. But I think it's more different now, that because especially like as of recently, this is manga, but it kind of blew my mind how Seven Seas got the rights to Kodansha's Tokyo Revengers, publish it in like English. That's like super interesting.
That's really cool.
So I said, be careful. What do you do? Communities. Toonie is always watching. Yeah, I'm watching all the I'm watching all the communities.
How many copies of Index Volume 1 do I need to buy for them to release an audiobook?
Oh.
Oh.
All right. Let's just say, gotta buy a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna start once a week. I'll buy 10 copies.
Oh, perfect. That's how, because we was actually having a topic about that at conventions, like what volume 1 series should we bring? And I was like, oh, let's bring Index, and like no, it won't do well. I'm like, no, bring Index. So we ended up not bringing Index. That was like my main request.
Oh, that feels bad.
I'm sort of glad they didn't like bring it at least in the first run, because I noticed in the first run they only had like one of the voice actors, usually like the male voice actor. Like read the whole thing, but I think in the later audiobooks they have one of the female ones to read the female lines, which I way prefer because it's super awkward to hear a dude like trying to talk like a girl reading like tsundere dialogue. Like I cringe so bad I can't listen to it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I know with Sword Art Online Volume 2 we have Cheer Me, which is the voice of Asuna as well, and Bryce Pappenbrook is still in the audiobook, so it's like a duo dynamic. But I still, even for like an audiobook to get like these actual voice actors, I still think, like, even if like working on it, even if I was a fan, I still think that's like super cool. But I get what you're saying, like even them like making like the scream sounds and like the sword sound.
J Novel, I think, just announced that they're going to be doing audiobooks, and they announced Slayers, which I'm super hyped for.
I've heard about that. That's exciting.
Okay. I didn't know audiobooks for light novels were a thing.
Yeah,
they only just started.
Popular. Yeah, I feel like Yen Press is doing the main ones. Like we just announced Bunny Girl Senpai, Selma Spider Sword, and Spice and Wolf audiobooks. And I know Vertical, well, Kodansha, they have the Monogatari audiobooks. That's pretty interesting.
I bet that's an interesting one.
Yeah. I would imagine it's like 10 hours a book.
Something like that.
Yeah, something crazy.
I'm curious to know out of the communities you do see on social media that interact with like the Empress products, which is the most vocal?
That's a good question. Well, I'd say the Bungo fandom is like the most popular. So I feel like I just see them more in general. So I feel like their opinions are really there. If I just say, what's another one? I feel like ReZero. Yeah, ReZero.
Yeah. I can believe that.
Yep, I'd 100% say ReZero. And I saw, I feel like it's not bad, but I saw one particular person for Madoka Magica. We had a giveaway poster at Anime NYC, and not gonna say the names or anything, but we had a lot of quantities. But it was a huge convention, so they went pretty quickly. But there was still like a day and a half, right? And so that someone wanted a poster, and there was no more, and we sold out of the book, which we had like a lot of quantities, and then we just saw like multiple Twitter replies on multiple tweets complaining that, oh, where's the post? I didn't get my poster. I own every Madoka book in the world from you. Like, how can you do this to me? They sent like an email.
Oh my gosh.
And then someone replied to say, I know, I didn't get one either. And so it was like a big thread of people just saying, where's my Madoka? When it was like on Amazon, like the actual book itself. They just wanted a poster. It's quite funny.
Damn. That's rough when you I just find it funny how like he went to like so much effort that I even like sent an email as well. Like email's quite formal, isn't it? It's like
I like told my boss, hey, did you see this posting about the Madoka? I was like, of course, they sent me an email. I'm like, oh. So
I practiced calligraphy and sent you a letter.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
Yeah, I also want to like talk about like conventions and stuff. Like, what was it like going to those conventions, Toonie? Because I know you went to, I think, 2 conventions recently.
Yep, I went to New York Comic Con and Anime NYC. Both of them were great. So it was a bit different. It's like this. Actually, these 2 were my first ever conventions, like ever. So for my first conventions, I was working like at Yen Press the booths and stuff. But overall, it was quite fun. For Toaru related stuff, I saw like, of course, like no cosplayers. I didn't expect much. But there's quite a few merch. Like I bought like a Misaka plush. They had the New Testament art book, Cross.
Hey, I got that.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's like a lot of Toaru stuff. I can't even lie. There's like plushies. There's figures, like the like Sega prize figures and stuff like that, like Ninjroids. But it was pretty cool. And then Aeon, I even DM'd you about this, about like the fans. So we had a Yen audio panel, basically revealing the announcements. And then someone came up to the booth and said like, hey, like I'm a big fan of Symmetrical Index. And so then he was like, me and him was talking. He didn't realize like who I was. And I said, hey, do you like watch any YouTubers by chance? He's like, yeah, I watch Aeon, I watch Toonie. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And he actually like typed us both up, and he was like subscribed with notifications on. And he didn't realize I was Toonie. I was like, yeah, that's me. He's like, oh, no way. So it was like super random. I was not expecting. And then someone came to the booth and said, hey, are you selling Index by chance? I was like, no, but every time when someone brings up Index, I was gonna ask like, oh, do you know about the community? Do you watch people? And they always like the 3 times I had that interaction, they all watch you, Aeon. So there you go.
The quintessential Toaru YouTuber.
Yeah.
Like, I guess because I'm like stuck in like could you call it a bubble? Like you don't kind of realize like that you've reached like people like across like the world. It's like, whoa, holy shit! Like people, in like all over the world have seen my stuff and like my stuff, and it's like Yeah, that's kind of mad to think about. Like, you don't really realize it when you just sat there, just, okay, grinding video after video, and you just see people comment. You're like, yeah, whatever. But until, like, you hear stories like that, and, like, legit?
Yeah.
It's kind of mad.
Yeah, it's so cool to see that, especially even, like, because I feel like Index, even, like, if it's not, like, the most popular as of, like, right now, it's still popular, right? But I feel like even to have, like, dedicated, like, community members, like I feel like you can't say the same for other series right now, like Strike the Blood or like Shakugan no Shana. Like there's not much like as in like activeness, the community's like videos about it. So I feel like this is definitely something special with the Toaru community. Like even with that, I wasn't there around with that big like 8-year gap of no anime, but I'd imagine people were so strong, and I'm always on Reddit and I just see the Toaru posts like all the time on like all the subreddits, the main ones, that each subreddit focusing on every character.
Yes.
So it's definitely a very strong community.
I definitely agree, because I think if I did not make any Index videos at all, by the way, I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. I don't know whose mic that is.
Oh yeah, I hear that as well.
Oh, it's probably me then.
Oh yeah, you're really loud.
Oh,
Did your mic change?
somewhat, yeah.
Oh,
Hold up.
sounds better now.
Yeah. You mess with the gain maybe on accident.
Okay, I guess I'll continue. Anyways, I think if I had never made any Index videos, I'd probably have like 20 subscribers. It's really strange to make videos on series that are way more popular than Toaru and get like way less views than when I make an Index video. I mean, the fact that any video of mine could ever get like, I think my most viewed one is just my general rambling about Index video, has like 2,000 views, and it's like I don't know how that could even happen, considering my channel had like 30 subs at the time or something. And it's just because Index fans are so into the series, they just so actively seek out content for the series, because there's not a lot of people that are making content about the series.
Definitely. Like even when like you see like if you were to get in a series, like I just feel like Tour is different, since I feel like you gotta at least look a bit into it before watching it, because it's like a commitment. It's like over 100 episodes. It's like a commitment. You gotta look at the watcher. You gotta understand, because you would assume there's spinoffs. And I definitely feel like for example, another light novel series, you would go watch like a regular Magic High School. You just watch it. But I feel like for Index, you look into it, then you realize just the first instant, like you see like a random picture, like, oh wow, this is interesting. You gotta know like, oh, where is this from actually, since there's so much parts to it. So I definitely think it's like an add-on feature. Yeah. And like once you commit, you wanna know like everything. So I feel like this is different than like most light novels. So it's really good.
Absolutely. It plays into my theory that the harder it is to get into a series, if you do get into it, it's going to be something that I guess you have a stronger attachment to as a result.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
I think there's a lot that goes into like Index's sort of community, especially here in the West. Part of it, there's a large like Japanese fan art section that does like a lot of Index art that I think helps fuel this community. But the biggest thing I think is Komachi's output is completely insane, and you've got like 50 different manga, all relating back to Index. And it's like boistered by Toonie, cover your ears. The fan translation comes out really fast.
It does.
So you're always caught up and on the same page as the Japanese fans. And so I think it's just all of these things coming together, along with like it being niche. So like the community gets to know each other and familiar with each other. So it's like, oh, I remember this personality from Twitter, and now they're commenting here on YouTube, and all like, that.
Yeah, I recognize a lot of the same names from not just my own videos, but like everyone's videos that I see that makes Toaru content.
Yeah, definitely. Like I joined the Toaru Amino, and I felt bad because I kind of like at first I kind of just self-promoted. Like I can't even lie, but then I got like but the one time I felt bad because I did it so repetitively, so I stopped doing it. And then someone DM'd me, "Hey man, you didn't share your video on the Amino." I'm like, oh, I felt bad. I felt like I over-promoted. So then I just kept on. They wanted me to keep on going. So then I've been seeing like familiar faces on the Amino, then on the YouTube comments, and then those same people I just randomly see them on Twitter. So I think it's like the funniest thing. Like if you're somewhere, you're like everywhere. Like you want to be on like every part of the Toaru side. It's super interesting. And then even in general, like let's say if you were like see some fan art, like even as like the replies, like even you could see the fan art. Like if you see it on Twitter, there's a chance you may see it on Reddit. If you see it on Reddit, you might see it on Amino. So it's just I feel like the Toaru community also really good at sharing, like pretty much like sharing like any type of media stuff. Just I feel like everyone's really eager to see stuff and just want more people to see it.
Yes. I want to point out a comment on the stream from ABC. He said, and I figured this was the case. He said, I keep searching Toaru sorted by upload date on a daily basis. It's like, yep, that's dedication. That is dedication. Yeah. That is what I think a lot of people actually do.
Yeah, you'd be quite surprised. I used to do that. I haven't done it in a bit. I mean, I still look up Toaru videos, of course. It's always interesting. But I'll honestly do that for other stuff. Like let's say if I look like an anime figure haul or something, I'll always go to like upload date this week or something, for example. So if you're like into it, you definitely look for content.
For sure. I think the wiki also helps a lot. Like the index wiki is one of the most like highly updated wikis I've ever seen.
I know.
I have friends that refuse to read the light novels, but they'll read the wiki.
Yeah, I don't know how many people I've seen. They read.
That's for me.
I know. they've read the wiki entry for Octonus, and like that's what made them read the books.
Like I feel like my standards are way too high for a wiki page because I was on the Fate Stay Night like Type Moon wiki because I found like this CD, like this random soundtrack like on like Bai or like Macari Japan. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I wonder what tracks are in it. So then I went to the wiki and like it wasn't listed anywhere. Meanwhile, on the Toaru wiki, every single piece of merchandise, like anything, is listed with like detailed explanations. So like you can find the most random little image, like a poster image from like Index Season 2, like key art, or you can find like a random soundtrack. It's all listed there. And with something big as like Fate or like Type Moon, the Wikipedia was not listed. So it was like super interesting and dedicated.
Absolutely.
By the way, is my mic still echoing?
No, it sounds good now.
It sounds good right now.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, I did switch my. I was using earbuds, but they ran out of battery, so I had to change to like my earphones. So that's what caused it.
For some reason, I don't see like your PFP like moving when you talk.
Oh, I can see it.
Oh, never mind.
I see it a bit. Yeah.
It is now. It wasn't earlier.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, like how the Toaru fandom in the West has just been like this cult thing, and I do like it in that regard. It's it's never been like the most popular, but at the same time, we've just got such a dedicated like fandom, and like for the most part, like everyone is really like passionate, and I really like that. I think that's one of the best things about the Toaru fandom, like the passion that you do see on a day-to-day basis. So when I see like people, all right, okay, some people on Twitter do mean this as a joke or say like the fandom like sucks or something, the fandom's the worst. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I've been an anime fan for a while, and I've seen and been parts of like multiple fandoms, and the Toaru fandom, okay, no fandom is going to be flawless, and there's going to be individuals on Twitter or Discord or whatever who aren't great people, but that's in any that's life in general. That's literally not attributed to the Toaru fandom by any stretch. Like, so when I see that, I'm just a bit baffled, really, because I'm always positive about the fandom, and I think that's the way to be.
Yeah, there are way worse communities out there than the Toaru community.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I've never seen a community that doesn't have its toxic or elitist like fan base to it.
Yeah, and that's just life, isn't it? Because you know people like that in real life who aren't in an anime fandom or whatever, like that. You're just gonna come across people in life who are dicks, and that's just that's just how the world is.
And then even like with Toaru in general, I feel like people really brings interest because like even on YouTube side, there's like I probably see like an AMV being uploaded daily, like by like a different person every day, uploading some type of AMV. And then in general, there's always something releasing and going on, so people feel like, oh, it's never a bad time to get into the series. Like, oh, it's dying. There's always something like a manga chapter, volume, or like Index, Imaginary Fest. There's always something that's releasing and ongoing to keep people like, oh, I don't want to watch. Like, for example, like Shakugan Shana, it's like nothing happening. It's over. So like, I feel like it's quite different.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's like crazy how long, in comparison to other novel series that don't really have such a dedicated fandom, that no matter, the dark ages of having no anime between Index 2 or Railgun S, I should say, and, Index 3 and the Toaru project, that it still, lasted. And even though, Index 3 wasn't great or whatever, for the most part, people got into it because of that. And obviously Railgun was a massive success, and it was a great adaptation as well. So I also want to talk about like conventions from my perspective as well. Like Emerald and Malcolm, have you been to any conventions?
I went to a convention once back when I was in high school. I went to ACON in Dallas, Texas. I can't remember. It was before Index 2 came out, and I remember that specifically because Funimation was doing a panel, and literally the only reason I went there was because I had a question. So I got to the panel, and Index 1 had released like a year or two before, and they hadn't said anything on Index 2. So whenever the thing, like, finally get to the Q&A, I was like, any plans to release Index 2? And then they were like, oh yeah, we're working on it. It's in the books. And like, I checked online, and there's been no announcement. So I'm pretty sure I got the first reveal of Index 2 coming out dubbed. So.
Oh, damn.
Oh, dang. I haven't been to a convention. I think since either before I started watching Index or like literally right when I did. So if I even saw any Index merch there, I have no memory of it. I don't remember that convention actually having a lot of like non super mainstream stuff. So I kind of doubt there would have been much there.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I've been to quite a few conventions locally, like where I'm originally from in the UK. And if you follow me on Twitter for many years, then you probably know that I've cosplayed as different characters from the franchise, mainly Accelerator. But Aqua is definitely the one I'm most known for due to my similarities to him. But I've also done like Golden Dawn, Alistair as well, from New Testament. But yeah, I mean, I've also met up with Jeru, who appeared on Toaru Podcast in the past, and he's done so many more characters than me. Like he's honestly crazy. Like, and he's still going strong. Like, he's done like a lot of Marvel stuff. Like, he even got invited to like the Marvel premiere in like Belgium. For one of like the like the officially endorsed like cosplayers and stuff to go as Loki, which is kind of cool. But yeah, he's mainly be doing like Assassin's Creed nowadays. Like, you should follow his Instagram if you can. It's like Jerushi. But I want to get him back on again sometime. But he's busy. He's a busy boy, family man. But I met with.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, I met up with him, and yeah, it was really sick. We got to do a Toaru photo shoot one time. So I got to be like World War III Accelerator and Aqua, and he was like Toma for most of the time. So that was really cool.
And you do your Makoto cosplay at 5K, right?
No, not 5K, 10K. Thank God.
I'm about to say I'm getting close.
If it was 5K, I'd be stressing right now. I mean, the fact that I'm nearly halfway there is kind of crazy to begin with, but still,
yeah, I had to make a lot of alt accounts.
Yeah, I should probably acknowledge it when I do my 5K special, which is the Alistair character analysis, which I've already made the thumbnail for because I'm that excited for it. Like, it's just going to be a pure passion project. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a grind because it's going to take a while to make, but I just want to do the character justice, so I'll try my best for Alistair. do what
Looking
I can.
forward to it. So how many people recognize, when you go to conventions and cosplay, how many people recognize the character that you're cosplaying as?
Good question. So it really depends, because there was because like I'm like in a certain region of the UK. I'm not like the London area, which is, where the biggest cons are. So I probably have more luck there. But when I've been in the past, like I remember at one convention, probably the one which had the most like index fans, I came across like, I was accelerated then. I must have been like 17 or 18 years old. And I came across like at least 2 or 3 other accelerator cosplayers, which is kind of crazy. So I didn't expect that much. And I also came across like a Mikoto cosplayer as well. And maybe a Kuroko as well. I can't remember. But so yeah, that convention in particular, definitely the most. And I did get like asked for like a photograph by like, I don't know, 6 or 7 people.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was as accelerated though, like must have been like 6 years ago, roughly. But when I think the last convention I went as Aqua. I think only one person recognized me, but I swear I recognized him because I swear I had seen him at the same convention the previous year as Accelerator, and he's asked for photographs. So I think he's like the one index fan that goes to that convention, like, or hardcore, I should say. I don't know, but and that's when I had my beard as well. I was basically going as bearded Aqua because I didn't want to shave. Like I like my beard too much to shave sometimes. So I'm like, but yeah. And I brought Ascalon. And the funny thing was, after that convention, I went with my best friend, and me and my best friend basically went to like a indoor crazy golf place, and at like the evenings, it's kind of like treated as a bar, and all the people in the bar were basically going on a night out, so they're all like dressed like really like nice and proper like nightclub clothes and everything. And I was literally asking the bouncer, "Hey, can I take this nearly 2 meter foam sword in?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." It's like just walk in with all these normies and just in this fucking Aqua cosplay and my Ascalon. And it's fucking brilliant, just seeing the reactions. And it's like they have like a cloak room, and I was like saying, "Hey, can you take this?" while I play crazy golf inside. So that's one of the fun stories I've got when I've been cosplaying. That's part of the like appeal of it, just having those quirky moments where you're just like interacting with like normal society.
Yeah, one of my friends. So originally it was my friend's like high school friend. I had him added on Discord, and I always knew he had a Misaka picture, like a profile picture. And I didn't really know him. Now I'm like really good friends with him. We hang all the time. But at the time, I didn't really know him. So I saw he had a Misaka icon, so I DM'd him one day, like, "Oh hey, it's icon." And so then I was actually hanging out with my one friend, and then he tagged along. And so I didn't realize like he actually was like a fan, like a not just like a railgun fan. Like he plays Imaginary Fest like every of Banner, so he's pretty like into the series. Like he have merch and all that, and he's like halfway in New Testament. So this dude's like an actual fan. So it's quite funny. So I was at the convention with him at Anime NYC, and he wanted like all the Toaru merch. And meanwhile, I did too. So and there wasn't much to go around. So, but we made it do. So it's quite funny how my friend's friend, not like one of my really close friends, like was into like Toaru really heavily. So it's quite funny.
Did you compete over the Naked Last Order figure?
What?
Is it the one with the ribbons?
Yes, because
Yeah.
the reason why I mentioned that is because at that convention I was talking about, I was basically going around stalls hunting for Toaru stuff as you probably do, Toonie. Just seeing what you can find. And then, one of the times I went like 6 years ago, the only thing I found was a fucking Naked Last Order figure with the fucking ribbon over, and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, this is all I can find."
Did you buy it though?
No.
The weird thing is, I was like considering it. I was like thinking, okay, I love the series, but this is not fucking worth it. So I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
I probably
I've
ended
had
up
that
getting
same mindset, and it was always a mistake because it would have been worth a lot of money.
Oh god.
Yeah, like the New Testament art book was like, it was at the Kinokuniya booth. It was like over $60. So I was looking at my Toaru friend. He's like, I was looking at him like, yo, you see this? He's like, why are you looking at it? You haven't read it? I'm like, oh, but I want it. But I didn't do it. It was like $60 and I'm not there yet. So one day.
Bro, I spent like $100 to get the new art book whenever it launched because it was like $40 shipping from Japan.
Yeah, I still actively check like Japanese like proxy shipping service sites. So I always see like the prices for like most index merch. So right now it's not too bad, but I'm just waiting. Well, meanwhile, I say waiting even though I'm not there, but I wonder when they're gonna release the 4th art book for the second half of New Testament.
Oh, I want that so badly.
That's interesting.
Wait, has that already been like announced?
No,
Or is that just speculation? Okay.
never been announced.
Yeah, I mean, Himura should do it because I mean he did the part 1 and part 2 for Old Testament, so it's just really a matter of time. But yeah, I found actually some quite sick like Toaru merch from that convention. Even though it's like in a niche area of the UK, I've actually like that was just one bad example of me finding that one figure. But at another year where I went, like I found like an official set of index playing cards, like the. Like, because it's got Funimation on the back as well, so
I
the
assume, Great Eastern ones,
yeah. So I assume they're officially licensed. I mean, the packaging was a bit weathered, like the cardboard, but I still bought it anyway. But I also found like this railgun like art book, but it was more like the character designs, and it had like it wasn't just character designs. Though. It was like it had like fucking anti-skill like designs, like all the weapons and shit. Like,
that's like the animation one, I believe, like the animation book.
Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah, because I bought that and I was honestly like really surprised when I found that. I was like, oh my god, this is really fucking sick. This kind of like makes me kind of like really interested in like the Academy City tech and stuff. Like I didn't know it existed until I found it.
Like I was surprised on my last day. There was a booth, it was a really big booth. There was like they had like little bins of labeled series. So I had like one Fate, one like Demon Slayer, like very normie stuff. But the further you go down, the less like mainstream it goes. So they had it's an index / railgun bin, and there's like quite a bit of stuff of it. But it was the final day, so I would imagine the people like took a lot of stuff because they were quite cheap. It was like $5 everything you grab. So the more you grab, the more you save, basically. So in that little bin, there's like buttons and keychains from like the series. So I got like this Misaka holding a Gekida button. So it was pretty cool. But then most of the other stuff was the index stuff that no one wanted.
Oh, rip.
So I got like the last Misaka thing. And there's like a little Toma. But for some reason, he was worth more than everything else in the entire area. Like, okay.
It's just poking fun that Toma can't afford anything, so he himself is valued above everything else.
Yeah, he needs our money.
Can't even.
He really does.
Afford himself.
Right, but there was at that same booth, there was like what game was that? The Virtual On game for the PS4. They had that as well, like the Japanese copy.
Nice.
I thought that was pretty cool. And then like the PSP games.
Yeah, I've got some like they were from. I ordered them online because you can't really buy them, but they were some index trading cards that Funimation gave out at a convention back whenever they first started releasing Index 1, I think.
Yeah, I think those are the ones I've got. Do they have like fan servicey?
Yeah, the one I can't display them out of fear.
Yeah, I've got some of those. Like, because I was thinking like, because I brought them to my like my what do you call it? My flat at uni, and I was like thinking, oh yeah, we can use these playing cards to play with my flatmates sometime. I was like thinking, oh wait, no, these ones aren't appropriate. It's like I'll get judged so hard if I bring these index playing cards. It's like, because like, I mean, I was gonna buy them anyway just because it's index, but I was like thinking, come on, there's art you could have used which is better than this. Like, for some of these, come on.
Even just the outer box, it's like Makoto and Index in a pool of water, and you can sort of see through Index's clothes. It's interesting.
Like, I just want to know the situation. Like, did they just design that thinking, okay, we need some like a few anime fans to be really fucking drunk for them to be able to use these playing cards without any fucking awkward moment? Because otherwise, if you just use these fan servicey like playing cards with like, I don't know, people who don't watch anime or anything, they're just gonna feel like, what the fuck is this? Be like, you weirdos. Like, it's like,
yeah, I noticed when they released, I saw an Ami like a bit ago when they released it was the Railgun T and Accelerator, like the trading cards. I forgot what company it was, but it's like a booster box and stuff. It had a really cool art on it. And there was sleeves and like deck boxes that came with it, and the sleeves and deck boxes were all swimsuit stuff. When the whole box of the actual cards itself was like this awesome like artwork and like key promotional artwork, then the actual sleeve holders were just fan service. So I'm like, oh, so
Toaru merch is wild,
right?
oh yeah, I mean, you do get a variety, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
there's I mean, not much variety is like something like the JoJo merc or Ava merc, because you know there's like JoJo suits and shit like that, or like like actually like official watches. Like I just kind of wish like Toaru had something cool like that, because I'd be like, because that kind of interests me more than like a figure, because I don't know, like I do have some like Toaru figures, but mainly small ones. Like I've got Chibi Ophinus and Chibi Shokoho. But I don't know. I feel like buying like figures, it just takes up too much space, and I'm like, do I really need it? It's like it just sits and does nothing. Like I prefer to buy something that I can actually use. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily want Toaru to be like a super mainstream series, but I wish it was at least a little more popular to just have like a larger variety of merchandise for the series. Because, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I did buy like a Aqua keychain though, like a GB Aqua keychain. And that's honestly like one of my favorite like purchases I've made. Yeah, and it's honestly like really cool. I saw pictures of it on Twitter. But it definitely like, even though it does nothing, you know, it's just decoration for my keys. But at the same time, it just looks really cool.
Yeah, I got a Misako on mine as well.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, I spent too much money on that stuff. I bought all the collector's editions of the Index video games that I could find. I bought. So I have the Virtual On collector's edition for both Vita and PS4. The collector's edition for the PSP movie game that came with like 3 chibi or 4 chibi statues. 3 or 4. I know Index, Makoto, and Itsuwa all have little chibi figures in it. And then I got the collector's edition of the Railgun PSP game, which comes with the Kuroko Figma.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
And the Index, the fighting game PSP collector's edition, which came with the sister Figma, I think. And then I have the Toma and Makoto Figmas.
I just love the fact that you bought the collector's edition for Virtual On not once but twice.
Oh yeah. It came with cool stuff. You got the soundtrack, and well, I also got the pre-order bonus with it that I guess they had left over. It's just like bookmarks of the Railgun girls. But
meanwhile,
yeah.
I'm over here with these too many Misaka pre-orders with these figures.
Oh, gee.
Like, there's way too like I'm happy that there's a lot of Misaka figures coming out, but like I just paid for the 1/7 scale re-release. So and now just knowing that there's like 6 more that's on pre-order like throughout the months.
Oh my god.
Like,
Didn't
how
they
many Misaka
release,
figures exist? Holy shit.
a lot. There's actually since of Railgun T, like there's probably been like 10 new ones. Like all it's a lot, like actual scale figures.
Didn't they release a Makoto bust or something not too long ago?
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Wait.
I don't have that one on pre. I'm just letting you know.
It was like $2,000 or something. It's like a 1-to-1 size
Oh
bust.
my god. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, but these figures are like really like next level. And there's actually an actual statue, a raisin statue of Misaki. So it's like these statues are huge and expensive, but they're not like officially licensed. But for something like Railgun to even get something like this, it's mainly like super mainstream stuff like Demon Slayer, Kaisen, like Chainsaw Man, Attack on Titan, very like mainstream stuff. So for the first like even like light novel series that's not like Sword Art Online to get like a raisin statue was Railgun. I was like super. I can send a link for it. It's like really cool.
That's good.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, yeah, I do appreciate like how much detail they do put into these figures because they do, obviously put a lot of work into it, which is why they're so expensive. But yeah, I don't know. Like at the same time, it's like when I get why they do keep making Makoto figures because they're gonna sell, obviously. But at the same time, Toma hasn't had a figure in a while. He's just got that Figma. Can we have like an updated Toma figure with like his New Testament outfit or something like that? Or, I mean, I'm biased. I love an Alistair figure with his blasting rod and posing. Like, I don't buy figures like nowadays, but I'd buy that shit instantly. But obviously they got to take into account. Okay, how many people are going to buy this? So it's like,
All right, I want a good Toma figure. That's not the Figma.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because that's the only one that exists. But I kind of get it because there's only so much you knew of Toma. Well, I don't know. They could literally make a Toma Dragon one. That would add more. Yeah, Toma's quite plain. No, I don't mean that disrespectful. I mean in terms of his design. I mean his New Testament one is a bit more spicy with his color scheme, but yeah. If you had his like Dragon arm, then that would add more like detail to the figure. And I think that would sell.
Was there a Toma Nindroid?
Nope.
Sad. I got the Accelerator one, the Nindroid. That one's pretty cool. I actually broke the cane because it was super frail.
Oh.
I was putting it into his hand and it just snapped.
No, the same thing happened to mine. Yeah, same exact thing. I was so upset.
So the cane just sucks. Don't put the cane on your figures.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it just breaks as soon as you put it in his hand.
Like they have a Misaka sister Nindroid, but not Toma. Like, okay.
I mean, they don't really have to put much effort into making an Emoto Nendroid when they can pretty much copy the Misaka one, change the eyes, just put goggles on, and then there you go.
Right. But then meanwhile, the Kuroko and the Misaka sister are worth like over $150 like the aftermarket.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like the Kuroko Figma, whenever I was trying to find it, just buying the Figma on its own, it was like $400. Like the only ones I could find. They were all super expensive.
Fucking hell.
And so I was like, whenever I was buying the collector's editions of the games, I found out the Kuroko came with the Railgun collector's edition. And I found the collector's edition for the Railgun PSP game on sale, and it was like $50, and it included Kuroko.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
So
I don't think there's even like an Othinus figure. I mean, I think there's an Android, but there's not a like a normal Othinus figure, is there?
It's like a chibi one. There's no Nindroids.
Yeah.
Like they don't make figures for light novels. Like they mainly make figures for anime, and she's not like adapted yet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's not an Android. It was made for like the Index 10th anniversary in 2014 because they made like a Chibi Misaka, Chibi Index, Chibi Ophinus, Chibi Fralacia, I think from Heavy Object, and then Chibi White Queen from Blood Sign, so like from the different Komachi novels as well. So not just Offerness. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I bought that. But people have made custom made Offerness figures, like full size ones. There's one of like Facebook I saw like many years ago, which looked really fucking cool with like Gungnir and everything. Yeah, that one's sick, but yeah, it's custom made, so it's not official. But yeah, the Chibi one is just doing like the New Testament 9 cover pose with the arm reaching out, but no like Gungnir or anything, which is kind of sad. But I'm still pretty happy to own that, because I don't know how much it's worth now, but don't really care about how much it's worth, to be fair, because it's like I'm just proud to own the only official Offerness figure there is.
I hope that even with that singular brand new index artwork, like the character artwork from the Dengeki Festival, I just hope they do at least something with it, like have like a group shot or like individual acrylic stands or something. Just more.
Yeah.
Be right back. I'm gonna get a beer.
Okay.
All right. Got it.
You can talk about whatever you wish.
All right. I would flex my Toaru merch, but I really don't have that much. I have like I think it's like the Index 2 Kanzaki one, just because it's super cheap. I think Index 3 Mikoto, and then I have 2 Kurka ones. One of them being the maid one.
Oh, nice. that huge one.
Yeah, it was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I have a full video soon in the process. I already made the thumbnail for it, but showing off the Toaru merch I currently own, and then like the wish list. So that's a video. I mean,
is the wish list big?
Yes.
I thought so.
It's like a lot of existing things. Like, if anything, it's quite simple stuff. Like, I would like the soundtracks, for example, like the Index and Railgun soundtracks. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Like, just like more figures in general. Pretty basic stuff, honestly. And like which one? I think there's like acrylic stands, like things that like kind of fill up shelf space, but like aren't like the most craziest thing.
Yeah, I don't really do the statue stuff just because I like to sort of have some sort of like interactivity with them. Like a Figma, I can like move around and pose and stuff. And then like the video games, I warrant because they're video games. But I did get the art books, the Hymera art books. I've got the 3 of them, and then I also got it's like a collection of anime cells. Not really cells, but it's like storyboards, and it's got the Railgun Season 1 storyboards in it.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either until I just like, sometimes I'll go into eBay and type Toaru or a certain and just see what comes up.
I've had this idea for a silly video where I try to buy like 100 Kurko stickers, but I quickly found out that there are not 100 Kurko stickers.
Better off just custom printing 100.
Yeah, that thought came into my head.
Welcome back, Aeon.
Well, yeah, thank you. I'm all filled up. But yeah, it just makes me sad there's no official Alistair Merc. When will it happen? Maybe when New Testament gets an anime. Maybe. So there's literally nothing I can actually buy which is Alistair related.
Dang.
Yeah.
Just learn how to build your own figures or something. I don't know.
I'm kind of busy with many things.
No, you can quit your job.
Know.
You turn it into a video, and then you're doing 2 birds with 1 stone.
True, but that would take like a lot of time. Like, I feel like it would just be like, okay, I buy the materials to make the figure and the tools, and it's like, okay, I start for a bit. I give up.
Get the knife and like a block of wood and like whittle one.
Even if I had the most time in the world, I feel like I wouldn't be able to even get started. I would just like, what do I do?
I don't know. Like if God.
Oh, I'm sure with a lot of money you could pay someone to make one.
That is, yeah.
Oh, is it worth it though?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Is it worth like way more than I would pay for like an official figure?
You're a
But
true
I think
fan.
like okay, whatever. You know, there's only so far you can go as a fan where you start losing the plot and you just become completely obsessed and lose the plot.
Do you really need your kidney? Do you really need it? Sell it?
Yeah, how many of those organs do you actually use?
Oh, well, if I keep drinking, then I'll probably need both for as long as possible. But yeah, I feel like if I was to like custom make it, the hair would be like holy shit, like because you know how much strands of hair this guy has,
Yeah.
That'd be a task. Like I feel like I'd just be making like a dildo or something, just like trying to carve a different hair, just failing. It just comes like a straight fucking thing.
Gekida shaped.
Yeah, we need an Aogami figure and his gecko to disguise.
Oh, do the GT that joke in GT where you put the mouse pad in the microwave to make it feel real.
Oh no!
Release some heated boob mouse pads with Ogami branding.
Bro. Aogami is like I don't know. You know when Komachi writes Index, is like Aogami the representation of Komachi in Index?
I mean, he's like, we all know Ogami's gonna be like the true final boss.
Yeah.
As Komachi already wrote in the side story.
Yeah, but is Aogami Komachi self-insert?
According to Twitter or like, you know, talking spaces, Toma's Ogami or Ogami, Komachi's self-insert.
Really?
I mean, you know, it's one of those things that like people say every light novel character is like the writer's self-insert because isekai is sort of like set that standard.
Yeah, I kind of understand it from that perspective. Maybe when Komachi was, you know, like a student and stuff.
Yeah, he was young when he wrote
right
Index, so.
Yeah, because like I feel like now, you know, he's a very successful author and he's not really, you know, poor by any stretch. You know, struggling to feed the ravenous nun and then him basically just being malnourished and having to fucking fight some world-ending threat every single day because, you know, the Toaru calendar is basically condensed to a crazy, you know,
like
mind-boggling extent. Yeah. Yeah, and we're only just, you know, this isn't a spoiler, like currently in Genesis Testament 5 we've only just passed Christmas basically. Mm-hmm. We're just heading towards New Year and it will be like, I don't know, it will be interesting to see what happens in the New Year for the Index timeline.
Yeah, volume 22 of GT will be New Year's.
No, it'll be sooner than that, but I get what you mean, but yeah, I guess because like I won't say what happened on Christmas, but I thought there'd be, you know, something more magic related. But I guess because in Japan, Christmas isn't as much of a big deal as it is in the West in terms of like the religious aspects of it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's seen as more of, you know,
party time.
Go on a date with your missus or go and buy stuff in Japan. Pretty much.
They work on Christmas, I think.
Yeah, it's not a public holiday. Yeah, it's not really. Oh, obviously, you know, it's Christmas in the West has become more, you know, towards, you know, consumer based, but it also does have that religious aspect and the historical aspects, but it doesn't really have that in Japan.
Yeah,
to the extent it does in the West.
I want to point out that in the chat there's been this debate going on. I haven't been reading it all because it's a lot of text. And when we mentioned Aogami, it was it was broken up because everyone wanted to talk about Aogami.
It makes
Oh,
sense.
really?
Yeah. I think
Shall we
it's
talk
really-
about Aogami?
Sure. Best character ever conceived. In my mind.
Well, you haven't read Old Testament, right? Have you?
No, not yet.
No. And Toonie, you haven't read Old Testament,
No, I
have
have
you?
not. Nope.
No. Well, you know, like the scene, what's it called? You know, where Ed Zali appears for the first time. You know,
I knew you'd talk about that.
Yeah.
yeah, where Mikoto basically blackmails Toma to pretend to be her boyfriend for that bit. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like while that's happening, like Aogami does like the most probably the most infamous speech in the index, where he's like just listing his fetishes, and it's literally just every fetish you can ever think of, and is like his ideal girl.
It's like a whole page.
Yeah, and that's just like the most defining Aogami moment of all time, because you're just kind of like blown away by it.
I think that's what like got him the name Fetish King. I think that was like a community name, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Or yeah, I don't know if it's an official one. Is it? I can't remember.
I know like people call Tsuchimikado the Syscon Sergeant and Aogami the Fetish King. I just can't remember if they're in the index or if it's just made up.
Oh no, Syscon Sergeant is an actual thing.
Yeah.
The group of perverts. But yeah, it's funny because like I remember when I was like, you know, first reading the series, everyone loved Aogami. But I did notice some people on Twitter didn't like Aogami.
Wait,
just
really?
Because I guess of the way he's portrayed or like sexualizes other characters. You know, like from the Railgun T scene with and stuff like that. I did notice like one person on Twitter like complaining about that, saying it's not okay or something. It's like, bro, why are you taking this seriously? Like, this is not, you know, because I remember why, because he was selling his dreams to older men. It was like,
yeah,
this is not meant to be taken to that extent of being like seriously, this is meant to be funny, like, or like, oh yeah, people love Aogami. People think Aogami is some kind of role model. It's like, no one. All right, we will joke about it. Yes, Aogami is the prophet or something, but we're not serious about it. Like, come on.
He gets some like whenever he shows up in Railgun. Like I remember him showing up in Railgun S during the Silent Party arc, and he was like the Gekida mascot. And like I was like so surprised I got like this stupid squeal because I was like, Aogami. But Ogami always like whenever you see him, there's always like at least in other side series, like in Railgun, there's always like cool
Oh no, Toonie died.
Rest in peace, Toonie.
Yeah.
There's always like these cool references. Like whenever you see him as Blau, if you look at the people around him, that he's selling to, they're people you see like in other parts of the series. Like I think one of them's just like a background thug that's appeared before. And then another one's the teleporting guy that was trying to kill Accelerator during Battle Royale.
Saraku.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
my
his
Google
name
died.
because I made that video.
Oh, rip.
Oh yeah, you're welcome back.
You're all good now.
But yeah, just anytime they work those kind of references in and I get Ogami, I'm very happy.
Also, like, they're at the Railgun OVA, where it has like, they do that like uniform swap where Misako and Kuroko wear like the Saturn and Uiharu uniforms and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that like they have like a moment with a Yokota mascot person, and like I wonder if that was Aogami the entire time from like that Railgun 2 scene. Because if so, that makes the OVA opening like so much better. Just like knowing that's Aogami.
Imagine.
They never did dub the OVAs, which is pretty disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably most likely to dub the earlier ones rather than the Index 3 ones.
Yeah, I think they never dubbed any of them.
Fair enough. You don't really get many bonuses with like when you buy like anime DVDs in the West. You don't really get like. I mean, it really depends. Like sometimes you get like cool bonuses. Like I bought like the Gungrave like DVD, and you get like some like the concept art and shit. And I thought, oh, that's cool. But like, I feel like nowadays you don't really get much bonus like features, stuff like that.
It was really weird because they, you know how like Index has the Index Ton shorts. And then Railgun has a similar thing, and those never got dubs. But the Accelerator short, like the Accelerator comedic parts for that anime, it got a dub. Like they dubbed it onto the DVD or Blu-ray.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's the only way you can watch it, I think. But yeah, it's dubbed on there. But no one else got that. Just in general.
I think it might be because Accelerator was only a 12-episode anime. So they had more time to do that shit. I don't know.
I mean, I sort of understand the Index Ton one because it's like sometimes they break the fourth wall to a degree where like in the original one, I think one of the characters was talking about their real life blog, like the voice actor's blog or whatever. And it's just like, you can't really translate that into English. Like it's just super meta.
Yeah, there is some like Japanese stuff you can't translate into English, but yeah, it really depends on the English director to try and make it funny in English and just change the meaning of it.
I remember the movie Index 10. They make jokes that Kamachi himself should be funding the Index 3 anime. That they would make it if Kamachi would fund it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The other good moment was. Oh, go on.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. The other good moment I remember is like in Index 3, like Index 10, where like Night Leader does like a dab or something.
That was so dumb.
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, you should.
Okay.
There was another moment where like in the earlier one, like Index Season 1, Index 10, where Terminates Accelerator's hand and like Accelerator starts blushing.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
I just remember the one that lives completely rent free in my head is from one of the Railgun OVAs where Mikoto is like a conspiracy theorist or something. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Is it the one where she feels like she's being watched?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was like a precursor to the Sisters arc. I haven't watched it in years, but I think the whole thing was like she was accidentally connecting to the Sisters network somewhat.
Uh-huh. Was it serious?
And it was sort of like driving her crazy.
Or maybe she was just realizing that she's being watched by many fans who are watching the anime, obsessing over her. She was like, "Ooh, shivers." Yeah. OVAs be fun.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about the Mental Out manga?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. We can do that.
I caught up just for this podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had forgotten. I was 2 chapters behind.
Are you caught up with Mental Out, Toonie?
I haven't read the newest one.
Okay. Well, yeah. In the newest one, it's actually showing more promise in a way because they're kind of adding a second plot element to the clique election.
Okay,
going
which
on
is needed.
Yeah, I do feel like it is needed because if it was just that and that alone, I'd be kind of sleeping. To be fair,
Yeah.
I don't think we'll talk spoilers just for some people in the chat.
Yeah. So, yeah, because they didn't return like another character. I won't say who it is though. To Mental Out, from Railgun. And yeah, Shogo is basically talking to this character. And there is apparently something else going on apart from this clique election, which is obviously happening. So I'm glad there's another element to this, because yeah, I'm just from like having the clique stuff in Railgun and also having the clique stuff in Mental Out, it just got kind of like, no, okay, just enough of the high school, not even high school, like middle school drama. Like, can we just have like more focus on like the supernatural element rather than just school melodrama, please?
Yeah. When I saw them bring that up in the Railgun manga, I thought it was because they were like, it was a short arc in order to build in or like set up the Mental Out manga whenever they started like setting all this up, but it's still going on in the Railgun manga. So it's just, don't really know what's going on with there. I mean, I've got worries for the Mental Out manga.
Really?
I mean, yeah. In general, like it's already pretty niche, right? Like, especially the way they're advertising it. It's like digital only. They're not publishing it in a magazine or anything, and it just sort of like we only find out it's out whenever like somebody, when the Railgun editor like drops the link to it, and it's never really like advertised on any of the main accounts. I feel like I never like whenever Railgun manga or anything's about to release, you get like the spoiler pages to advertise it on Twitter and everything, but I never see that for Mental Out. And like some people in the comments or the chat here even like didn't even know Mental Out got a manga.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know how they're advertising it. And from how I've seen it, because they said, oh, depending on how the beginning stuff performs, will decide if the manga actually keeps going and whatnot. So it's just, and to make matters a bit worse, because like in the notes I had like, I wrote a bunch of notes down, right, for some of the topics you put. The one thing that I think sort of keeps people away from it is, for like the Railgun manga, it's very much sort of like, it looks shonen, right? Like it's got the shonen action scenes and everything. The art style for the Mental Out manga and just the way it's written out and everything, it feels sort of like a seinen girls love manga a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, so if you're just coming off sort of like you're not the biggest fan of Index, or you're like a casual and you read it, it's sort of like, oh, I'm not really into like, you know, the Yuri, all that. If you're not like engrossed in like this larger Misaki lore that like prevails throughout all of the Rail or Index media, it feels very like uncomfortable a lot of the time, because it's like, yeah, Yuri romance, they're ship teasing and all that.
I have to wonder how much of that is Nogi Yasuhiro putting that in and without Kamachi's like approval, because I never really noticed anything like that in Index material, but I did notice it a little bit in Astral Buddy and Mental Out.
Yeah, the interesting thing about him is that I found out not too long ago that he actually used to write doujins, including an Index doujin. That was it was Misaki and Toma. It was a Misaki Toma one.
Is that
so?
how
Apparently,
Kamachi
that's
found
his
him?
ship. Kamachi hires a lot. Well, it's common in Japan that a lot of artists tend to like, before they go really big or get like mainstream jobs, they do doujins and like porn games.
Yeah, it's how to get recognized, really, or any traction.
Yeah.
I mean, Haimura, he started off doing that as well before Index.
Yeah, so it seems like they're a fan of the series, obviously. And they seem to like be into the Toma Misaki ship. It's not just like pure Yuri, but I think it's just considering the setting and stuff, And I think their art style sort of complements it. Like it's a very like effeminate art style. I don't really know how to say it because I'm not an artist. But I do think it lacks a bit in the action department, in part because it's just the way the art is. It doesn't have that sort of like shonen look to it that sort of allows for you to really easily switch between like this slice of life to action. And I think there's like art reasons I could explain it in that I am not well versed enough in like the vocabulary to explain it, but that's sort of just how I generally feel. Like it's harder to get into this manga and harder to see it as a success with everything going against it like it currently is.
I definitely see what you mean. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to say it's like set up for failure with the way they're marketing it and publishing it and everything. It's definitely started off really lighthearted, and I mean a lot of Railgun arcs kind of start off lighthearted and they get a lot crazier by the end. So like I do want to like wait it out and see what actually is in store, because it looks like it's going to get more interesting soon. But I can kind of see what you mean with the art style. And Shokuho is already not exactly a character that is going to be involved in a lot of action. So I feel like the approach to writing a story revolving around her would kind of unfold differently than a character like Mikoto. But that's my thought.
Like I feel like this is like a Weekly Shonen Jump type situation, especially with the digital only, and it's like depending on if it does good digitally. With a Weekly Shonen Jump, if you don't like hit it off the bat, there's a big chance you would get axed, and the next spot would just come in. So I feel like it should have had a stronger spot. Like definitely, I feel like the beginning was a bit slow and leading to something much bigger. But I feel like doing this process when you're dependent on like your startup of a digital like everything, is it the best take on it? I mean, I would imagine like you said, the art style, I agree. Like I can't imagine something like looking battle shonen with this, but I do feel like there's potential. But I feel like if it were to grow bigger, there need to be a good amount of chapters to be read to get to something like more interesting, like for more fans. So I feel like just the slow start in general is kind of hitting the series a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, with Shoko as the lead, I can see that being popular, because even without her appearing much in the anime, like before Railgun T, she was popular in many corners of the fandom. Interpret that as you will. I wonder why, but no, seriously. So I think it does have the appeal, but yeah, I think a good point has been raised where it's like, yeah, she's not going to be doing much of the fighting. It's I feel like it'd be more like psychological and mind game orientated. I feel, and I don't mind that. I really enjoy like psychological series, but I'm not really getting a vibe at the moment. It just really depends how it pans out. But I'm glad they've added a new plot element to it. But yeah, they do like from the tweets of the Railgun editor. He's like saying, "Oh, please share this, and if you want to see it continued." It's like, I mean, are you going to really appeal to that much people on one Twitter post? I do get the point Malcolm's making. Like, I don't know. I don't think like it's going to. It's just appealing to a niche market in a way, because okay, Shokuho has popular design and people like her design and stuff like that, without having to read New Testament or watch Railgun and stuff like that. But it's a spin-off of another spin-off yet again. It's like you're just going deeper and deeper into this franchise, so you kind of have to have that awareness of the other stuff as well to fully appreciate it. So it's kind of harder to get into if you're just getting into it because of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think part of my like why I feel like they may not, at least the publisher side doesn't feel too confident with it, is because like Accelerator and Astro Body both just ended like roughly at the same time, which usually makes you think it was ended earlier or like by executive decision. So it just sort of like that, those series being ended just before this Mental Out series goes, and the Dark Matter being just a one shot, it just makes me wonder if they're really confident with Railgun manga or Index manga in general, from a publisher outlook specifically.
Like, I wonder, even in the English release, I just wonder if Railgun, like, new volumes even sell, since the previous volumes, like, Volume 7, for example, was, like, unable to purchase and, like, crazy expensive. Like, I would imagine, are they just printing it since it's an ongoing series, or, like, are people actually buying, like, I can't imagine many people will buy, like, Volume 17 of Railgun when that comes out in English. So, it seems tough, because I would imagine the publisher of, like, the spin-off 7 Seas, I feel like since Astro Buddy and Accelerator ended it in the English release as well, if it would have done like very well, they probably would have done like the Dark Matter volume. But there's been like no information on that, and I can't imagine Railgun's doing too good. And there's a demand for reprints, but I guess not high enough to actually reprint it. So I feel like it's definitely like a situation here.
Yeah.
Considering Mental Out is digital right now, would it even be guaranteed that we would get like physical volume releases for Mental Out, assuming enough chapters would be made?
Probably not, but if anything, I would still like to see volume covers. Like, I know some digital series still gets volume covers, even though it's been like I feel like it's more like for the catalog, like separation. But I feel like there might be a cover designed, but probably not published.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard to say. I mean, they do publish it based off like standard manga page dimensions, so it shouldn't be hard to bring it to paperback, I would imagine, at least.
Yeah, it's just a rare thing in general for like a digital only series, and then for them to straight up say, hey, we're depending on you, basically make this do good, with like not much of a marketing push from the actual like behind the scenes, just a singular person. Hey, it seems like there's like a kind of call for help, like make this do well or this might affect things. So it's kind of looked like a bit of a scary situation even at the start. And then, like you said, I would imagine Astro Buddy and Accelerator being so close together with ending. I think there's something definitely in the background that we don't know that might be affected.
Yeah, I feel like the only reason we may have seen it get greenlit, but only like with hesitation, would be because of how well done or how well received the Railgun anime was, Railgun T. And along with that, the volume 12 of New Testament with Shokuho as the focus also like sold really well as a result of Railgun T, which somehow it's a really bad sign whenever the Railgun anime sells more light novels than the Index anime.
Well, we all know why that is, because, you know, there was a clear difference in budget between Railgun T and Index 3, apart from the openings.
Why did the second opening for Index 3 look so amazing?
I don't know. I guess, I mean, the only thing I could think of is really the opening is the first thing you see, so you just see, oh, wow, this looks good, and you're compelled to watch or buy it, and it's like, oh, that's the only thing I can really think of. I don't know,
and I can't lie, that does work.
I remember it.
I guess so.
I remember it took like 6 episodes for the the ED1 for Index 3 to actually finish it. They had some just sort of like basic unfinished version of it playing, and then whenever whenever we were like 6 episodes in, we suddenly like got the proper one added, which usually shows a lot of chaos going on in the background.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I was really disappointed with the Index 3 endings. Like, compared to the Index 2 ones, like, okay, the Index 2 ones didn't have an awful lot going on, but the songs were absolute bangers. Like Magic World, that's like
Magic
one of the best.
Like,
it does fucking slap. And
I don't even remember the Index 3 endings.
I mean, there's like Kakame Zenia, I think one of them's called. but it's just like Index doing random stuff, and I'd rather be related to the actual arc that was going on. But yeah, even Index 2, like ending 2, that one, the lyrics are pretty good. Like it's kind of like either talking about like Last Order and Accelerator, or like Index and Accelerator. But yeah, I feel like Magic World, like even to this day, like everyone just raves about that. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't really anything going on with the Index 3 endings. Like it was just Index doing random stuff, and it's like, okay, can we have something cool visually, or just her doing random stuff?
I mean, on the bright side, I remember the Index 3 openings. For some reason, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't remember the Railgun T openings.
I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't, like, when I think about him, I just can't think of... I remember the Toma and Gunha scene, but that's the only part I, like, actually remember from them.
I really love, like, the first Railgun T ending, like, because it kind of, like, shows you, like, the like Shoko's clique, and then it shows you like Mikoto's gang in a way, if you want to call them that. Yeah. But it kind of like pits them against each other. Like Shoko's clique are like shown like dark colors, so it's kind of like further hinting that Shoko's they're gonna have like a battle between these two forces, or it's like just misleading the audience.
Wait,
just,
which one had the weird skyscraper thing? Was that at the beginning?
That was the second one.
Oh, that's the second opening.
Yeah. Okay, that's the second. Yeah, I remember that, but I just remember it being really weird.
I mean, visually, I liked the second opening. I'll be real. Probably the only reason the main reason I do like the openings, but that was just because I covered both of them, and so I just became very familiar with them. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would remember them if I didn't.
I feel like I remember them. I like the second one. I like the first one more than the second one, but I do like the second one for being like more stylish compared to like any other one. I do think that, and then not to spoil much, but I do like how like the voice switched when it had like friend scene and like animation. There's like more to it, so it was like added on, like hinting. So it was quite good.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like there's kind of like a different vibe with like the second Railgun T opening, because it was less like had like different. I don't know. I'm not really a musical expert or anything. I don't know how to analyze music. I don't know. It had like different vibes throughout, I guess, rather than just like a consistent rock electronic vibe, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, I really like the. Yeah, obviously the first opening. I like both the openings for Railgun T, and then the first ending. I like the shot of the windowless building at the end. That gives me a good vibe. Well, yeah. Do you guys want to do the Q&A or?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm down for Q&A.
Move on. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, it is Q&A time. So, if you want to ask us any questions, comment below, but we'll also be answering the ones that have been asked previously. And I'll just mention on Twitter we're doing it, so if anyone wants to respond on Twitter, we'll do it. Q&A. Send us questions. Okay, let's scroll and see, because there is a lot of chat. I remember there was quite like a couple of early ones, and I was like thinking, "Oh shit, we need to go all the way back to try and find these."
The chat is way more active this time than it was last time.
Yeah,
it's good. I can't remember if I gave him short notice on like the previous time or not. I don't think I did.
We did it on a holiday, didn't we?
Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah. I would like to assume that is why.
Yeah, maybe. Do people really go out trick-or-treating? Too old for that shit.
You gotta dress up as your favorite Index characters and represent, dude.
Oh, yeah. Just scare everyone to death just dressing as, I don't know, like Biagio or Baba.
Dressed as Ogami.
Just imagine, like, open the door, you just see Baba.
No thanks.
I mean, I've already I've already answered that one. Like, what anime did I start with in next season 3? Is not in next season 3, in next season 1. Where's the other one? Should I scroll and find them? Ah, there we go. Q&A question, because you put them here. Wait, what? Oh, here we go. Okay, there we are. Do you think they will ever adapt side stories like Railgun SS and Kanzaki SS?
No.
No. Yeah.
Just a deep breath. No.
I just can't see it. It's because it seems like an OVA, like something you would do for an OVA, but they're so like they add some lore and stuff, but they're so minor that you wouldn't really have to. There isn't really a reason to, especially considering how the anime canon sort of represents a bunch of events.
Anyone else want to have a go at this?
Simply, I just say there's more a priority of other stuff to adapt.
Yeah, I don't have much to add, unfortunately. I'm hesitant to even say that they're going to adapt like Dark Matter or anything. So
we don't even know if they'll adapt in T.
Yeah.
I think they did consider adapting Railgun SS in Railgun T, but I think they scrapped the plans. So it is probably possible, depending on how much content they have to adapt.
They name dropped it in Railgun S, so.
Yeah, but as for Kanzaki SS, I don't see that getting an adaptation. If anything, it's going to be Railgun because Railgun sells like cakes. So yeah, that's why I have to think about that. And Sir Kotok asks another question. How do you feel about people making an argument that Railgun is bad because those arcs don't matter to the story? Because I feel like it makes no sense. Biohacker is good, but not important.
I disagree. I think every arc, just about anything that isn't from the Accelerator manga, plays some sort of role in the world. That's worth reading and learning about.
It's kind of subjective when you say like those arcs don't matter to the main story. It depends on what do you mean by it doesn't matter. Like, can you say the sisters arc in Railgun doesn't matter?
Yeah, or like I mentioned earlier, the aim burst. Like it ultimately, that arc gave us more of an understanding of like concepts like how aim works and how you can see how that relates to Kazakiri and Index. So I think usually the way Kamachi writes, there's always some sort of relation that can be drawn to another thing that at least if it doesn't add much, it at least deepens our understanding of how these concepts work in this world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think collectively that we already kind of talked about it. It adds a lot to the world building, like you pretty much said.
Mm-hmm.
And generally adds a lot of life to the franchise that is Toaru.
Yeah, I feel like they do obviously matter. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they do matter because obviously they flesh out the world a lot more. But I think we already mentioned like the Railgun, spin-off adds context to Index, and vice versa. So yeah, but I disagree that Biohacker is good. Biohacker is like I've seen people say Biohacker is like the best Index side story, and I'm like, I wish I thought of it like that because I'm not a fan of Biohacker. I thought that was like easily one of the most disappointing things that have come out of the franchise because I was like really excited for it, and I was like, oh, this is major blow.
I liked it.
Did you like how many times they referred to the fucking lolly thighs?
Best part.
Oh yeah, they referred to that. Like, Kamachi honestly like talks about that like 6 or 7 times. I'm not even joking. Like it's I wouldn't mind like one time. Okay, get out of the way, whatever. But it's continuous. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up about this, because it's just driving me crazy.
It was so you had an emotional attachment for the end twist. Twist.
Yeah, okay. It's, you know.
Yeah, the more you care about her lolly thighs, the more you care about.
It's not her. Well, the ending character. I know who you mean, but.
About the sister of.
Yeah. But, I feel like the ending is so forced, though. It's like.
I mean, it was.
Pity this character. Please pity her.
Maybe. I mean,
and it's like I don't feel like it's warranted. Like I don't feel like we get that enough of that connection with these two characters to justify that emotional
Biohacker alone. Yeah, I would say it feels forced, but whenever you bring in what you know from the Astral Buddy manga along with the context of NT12, I think it's not as forced as it could have been if it were just the SS alone.
You mean NT11?
NT11, I'm sorry. Yeah. I was actually going to ask. I just finished New Testament 11. Is Biohacker like the next thing I'm supposed to read? When did Biohacker release?
It released, yeah.
Yeah, it released like a year or two ago. It was... What was it released with? It was released with one of the animes, right? With Railgun?
Yeah,
anime?
I think it's like released one of the Index 3s or
Railgun T. Index 3 had
is it Agnese?
Yeah. But I'd say it's a good point to read it because there's nothing it really spoils after NT11. And I think with NT11 being fresh on your mind, along if you've read Astro Buddy, you'll get the most out of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the prequel.
I was going to make a video on Astro Buddy, but I didn't know if I should read Biohacker before I reread Astro Buddy.
I'd say it's worthwhile since Astro Buddy's fairly short.
Yeah.
With the context of Biohacker, if anything, I would say NT11, Biohacker, and Astro Buddy all sort of form this like triforce of that character, of the
sounds cool
villain character.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see what you think about it because I'm not a fan of it. Like I thought, because I was really like curious to learn. Okay, what is the backstory with these characters? And I was just disappointed. But yeah, I'll be curious to see what you think about it, Emerald.
Sure. I'll let you know. I don't know if I'll make a video about Biohacker, but I should definitely read it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do the last question from the same guy because he's asked a lot. I think like 3 is the maximum. Do you feel like the level 6 transformation will cross the Sephiroth void? I think he's referring to the Abyss of Sephiroth. I feel like this question will be just me and Mal since we're caught up. I mean, in Excel, the tree shows Keta and in Railgun the Black Sphere, which should remind people of something like that. Do you want to go ahead, Malcolm, or shall I go first?
It's a lot to take in. I would assume it would be some sort of weird middle ground. It sort of depends on how you interpret like how a level 6 works, especially considering how we understand aim, which I don't know how much I can go into regarding the true nature of aim, considering the spoiler state of the podcast. But I think it sort of depends on how Kamachi will sort of ultimately bring together how aim and this other stuff sort of how much of it crosses paths with each other from his perspective. For the railgun, I mean, it has to be intentional, right? Like Kamachi doesn't it's so hard to like talk about this. It feels foreshadowed. I would say there's a possibility, but it depends on how Kamachi sort of goes more into depth, especially now with the current setup of GT, and I'll leave it at that.
Fair. I'll say that obviously there's been a link between the trees as established at the end of the New Testament. So yeah, there's definitely a link somewhere. But yeah, I'm not sure about level 6 thing, because whether it abides by Sephiroth or something else, which I won't say. It's not really clear. But who knows? We might get an explanation for that if we get more information about level 6 in the future. That's all I'll say. Okay, Non676 asks, you all think Misaka is best girl?
Will I get canceled? If I
No, I don't think you will. Just be honest.
Whenever I first started Index, she was my favorite. I really liked the scene during the Aqua the Back arc, where she sort of like reveals her feelings and stuff. Like I read that scene like a million times when I was like getting into the novels, and the scene with her trying to save Toma during World War III. But as of after Inti really got into place, specifically after the Hawaii arc, I think my standing of the character sort of like lessened, and I became more interested in some of the other side characters like Othinus and Misaki. I just felt like they were more incorporated into the story in a interesting way than Misaka at that point.
I think I feel pretty similarly. I actually started watching the series because I thought Mikoto just looked cool. She was one of the biggest motivations for me to get into it, and I just like tsunderes. I guess she was my favorite for a little while until I joined the Kuroko train, and I have not gotten off that train.
I feel like for me as an anime only, not many options. Like I would imagine if I were to go into the light novels, I might have a different opinion. That's it as of right now. I guess yes, Misaka is best girl in my opinion, but I would imagine the more I dive into the series, the more I know about other characters, the more I go in depth and other stuff and see Misaka, what Misaka really does. Right as of right now, as my normie self, yes.
There's
no shame.
Honestly,
I mean, she's still pretty great.
Yeah,
I will
She's
at
still,
least
like,
say that
up
I
there for
thought
one of my favorites.
that I did think Misaka in GT2, I really thought she was cool there. And that's all I'll say about that without going into spoilers.
Yeah, she's definitely. I feel like Kamachi is trying to write her well again, I'll say. So fingers crossed he actually goes ahead with that this time. But yeah, for me, Shoko is my best girl. I mean, if you've watched my character analysis video, you'll know that. All right. He also asks, who's your favorite character in Toaru series? Obviously, mine's Alistair.
The entire series, usually I feel like the mainstream answer is Toma, just because like I don't know, I like him a lot. At least I guess the character like I think about the most in terms of how they're written and stuff as of late has been Shokuho, because just Kamachi set up so much for her. So maybe like in general, Shokuho is usually probably my favorite.
I thought it'd be pretty self-evident that I am the biggest Terrastina fan in the entire fandom.
Let's go.
No, it's Kuroko. Although I will say, after reading New Testament 11, Shokuho was very close.
Based.
I'd say
Hey.
Accelerator.
Accelerator?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I'd say so, because I feel like what got me into the series was just seeing like I saw like a fight scene of him. I thought it was like the coolest thing. So like I'd say like when I first got into anime, I watched like a ton of battle stuff, shonen and stuff. So I thought like strong characters are always the coolest. So I went into the series like say, oh, strong character. So it kind of just sticked with me. I think he really stood out. and it's cool to like when I flex, when I try to show someone like who doesn't know anything about Toaru, like a good example I show is like a random accelerator fight to try to get them interested to it. So kind of just I'd say accelerator.
Accelerator is a really good one. I agree.
Yeah, he was my favorite character when I watched the anime. Like I was obsessed with Accelerator, and he was my favorite character up until like New Testament 14, and then I was like, okay, Alistair is like overtaking Accelerator for me, and I never thought that would happen. By the way, I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Okay, next question. Shisui AMVs asks, what are the chances of the JC staff ruining the New Testament adaptation?
Likely.
From the previous track record, I'd say high, but I mean, at the same time, like, because some people are like quite surprised with my take. Because initially, I was like anti getting new anime because I was like, oh, we got the novels. Novels are still great. Why should we don't need the anime, but we kind of do because like even if the anime is bad, like think about how many people get into like the novels or whatever because the anime, even if the anime is bad, like think about it because like Tokyo Ghoul, like the Tokyo Ghoul anime, it's kind of shit.
Yeah.
And the only reason why it got the manga got popular is because people would watch the anime, or like Terraformers or some other fucking manga anime I've forgotten which had a bad adaptation, like Berserk 2016. They get like made fun of all the time, and then people check out the source material because they want to see what it's like when it's actually good. So it honestly benefits, even if it's even if it's not the best.
Yeah,
so,
I guess it also depends on how much hate they got. Considering how much hate they got for Index 3, how much that would probably affect the production of it. Because for the first 2 seasons, like generally they aren't considered like the best adaptions, right? But they were like, average enough and like in line enough that people were like willing to forgive it and be like, okay, this is reasonable enough adaptation. But like Index 3 was like so poorly received, and like to the point where the director, like he received so much hate for it, which you shouldn't like go attack the director for how the anime turned out. But he received like so much hate, he like deleted the thank you for watching tweet at the end of the series airing.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so I have to assume that with that much like vitriol towards it at that point, they have to look at it and be like, we can't really cheap out on the production like we did before, because like people are now really starting to show they won't stand for it. Because usually like they won't take advantage of you if they know you're gonna get mad at them for it. So it depends on how much that actually had an effect on the studio itself.
Yeah, I was going to mention the same thing about the director kind of being harassed over Index 3. I want to be optimistic about it because I feel like it's less of an issue with the actual production value and budget and just more of an issue of just how many volumes they're trying to shove into one season. I mean, I guess I'd rather have something that was less rushed but not exactly high budget than something that is super rushed with a higher budget, if that's applicable.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there have been more sources of money for just production of the anime, especially with these pachinko machines. Imagine if that's then obviously the Railgun Blu-ray stuff. And like there's been a ton of merchandise. I would imagine that they could do more and better because Index 3 kind of came out of nowhere with like no backing. And now after 3 anime projects, gacha game, like all this stuff, I feel like there's more effort that could be put into it. And especially as of recent, like the past years have been like kind of nonstop going out with stuff. So I would imagine that there could be a more budget. But the thing is, how would they do it? Like just mainly, I hope it's good. But I just want them to at least spread it out enough to have equal parts, everything done quite well and not rushed, like was mentioned before. I just want them, if they got a good enough budget, just to spread it out nicely for every arc, every season, or whatever they're planning. I think that would be the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Index was just sort of, it came whenever the first season came out, which is like the foundation of the anime, came out at a time where light novel adaptations, like they got a bunch of episodes, but they were expected like maybe one season and that was it. So they had to like cram a bunch in. Whereas like I've noticed a lot of the popular light novel adaptations that have been coming out these days, like at most, like the first 12 episodes will cover like one book. And it's like crazy.
86 did that, I think, literally 12 episodes for one volume.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it definitely shows like the quality of your anime will be represented in how much time you give each volume to shine, which Index just unfortunately came out and sort of set a standard for itself before this new standard sort of came into place, which I mean, like the bright side is Index gets like 2 core anime seasons. The downside is that it's substandard and or subpar in quality.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Cameron asks, thoughts on Fripside breaking up? Yeah, so if you don't know, Fripside have announced they're splitting up. I can't remember if we addressed this in a previous podcast or not.
We did.
Yeah. We'll get Toonie's take on it then, since we were all here.
I'm quite sad about it. I actually used to listen to them before because they did a Sarah for the End opening. They did like opening 2 for Sarah for the End. So I actually listened to them before, like Railgun. So I'm honestly a big fan of their stuff. So it's sad to see them break up. And even if there is like a Railgun season 4, it won't feel the same since everything else has been by them. But regarding the Railgun openings feel all samey, I feel like that's kind of the charm of it.
I can kind of agree with that. I mean, even though they're breaking up, I don't think it is impossible that for Fripside to ever do another Railgun opening, assuming we get another anime. I mean, what, like 3 years, 2 years, maybe even longer down the line, it's not impossible to just, have the singer come back for the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it didn't hurt Index 3 that much when they got the new artist to do the openings.
True. All right. Rebel Hearts asks, since we're getting closer and closer to February, which would be a Valentine arc do you guys hope this will they, won't they, romance side plot will finally end? I think I get what he means by that, but this is just bringing me flashbacks to the Valentine's Day podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't exist, by the way. Wink, wink. I'm not really bothered. Like, I think I feel like there's more important things.
Yeah.
I care more about what the potential of what's happening at the moment than shipping shit.
Yeah, I think Kamachi said before that he doesn't really he's not writing for the romance. It's just sort of a byproduct of what's currently happening. It's mostly just there for the sake of having it, I guess, from his perspective. Though I do like how he's been handling this sort of Shoko subplot. And I mean, for somebody who says he doesn't write romance, I do think whenever he does get into the romantic stuff, it's really well written. But yeah, I'm like you. I don't really mind it being there or not. It's sort of it's not really the main subject of the series, so it's not really something that bothers me.
Should we move on to the next one?
Sure.
Yeah. He also asks, do you guys think you might cry when the ending of Rail Dex is announced? Yeah, I don't know. Depends, really.
Cry.
Is it not emotional here?
Depends on how bad it is.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I think if it's a bad ending, then I'd cry. I'd be like, why have you done this? Something so good up until this point.
20 years of my life.
Wasted for this crappy ending.
I mean, maybe when I'm a senior citizen in a nursing home with Index about to end, maybe I'll be a lot more emotional.
Yeah.
While they're still trying to convince
That's
you
so true,
Kamachi
though.
is human.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if Kamachi lasts, forever as a writer, we're in for the long run. We're quite lucky in a way, as to our YouTubers, apart from Malcolm. You should get on that train.
I'm working on it.
It's like we've got plenty of content to come out still, unless something drastic or crazy happens. So should be okay for now. Cameron also asks any plans to stream the Dengeki event. Yeah, I don't know if it's getting streamed. If it I asked on Twitter, but no one really answered me with a definitive answer.
I believe on the 11th, they're doing the already announced stuff, like trailers. Then it says on the 12th they're doing like new announcements with like nothing being said. So as in a live stream, I think if you were to stream it, it may get like claimed or blocked, like copyright. If I had to imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Probably do a stream and
Fair
private
enough.
it at the end. But I've seen people do that.
I mean, I probably would, but yeah, depends.
Also
Even
depends
if
what time it
anything-
is.
Right. Even if anything, all the like trailers and stuff will all be on Twitter. So if like there's an index thing, like if there's something index like a trailer, I'm gonna react to it. But I doubt I can even stick a live stream not knowing the time. Like,
Yeah, I think you said like it's like 10 p.m. or something Japan time. Well, I can't remember what time that is in the UK. I
yeah.
could probably search it up or something. I could have a look real quick. Yeah, they said it's at 10:45. What time is that in the UK? 10:45.
I just have that's 8 a.m. for me.
Oh, well. What day is it on? Is it on? It's on the 11th, but probably the day before. Yeah, I might be working then.
On a Saturday?
Well, won't it be the day before because it's in Japan? Or no, or not?
Yeah, I think
If it's on a Saturday, I probably could.
I think potential announcements would be on Saturday, but the already announced plan stuff is on Friday, I think.
Fair. Yeah, I'll look into it, and obviously I'll need to plan that properly because I don't want it to be messed up or anything. But yeah, it'd be good if there is something next related. Then it'd be good to get my raw reaction to it because that'd be hype. But yeah, otherwise, yeah. Byakuyo X Ogami, who is the best Chad? From
I'm
Geraldo.
terrified to answer that because the one that I don't pick, I don't want to know what they'll do to me.
Ogami soloed Alistair, so I'm gonna have to go with Ogami.
Oh yeah, true. In that parody.
Yeah.
Also, I forget that Biagio is pronounced Biagio because it's like the Joe, like like Giorno Giovanna. You pronounce it like Joe, so maybe Biagio is actually a Joe star.
I sort of assume Kamachi just uses the Japanese pronunciation, whatever it would be in katakana.
I don't know. Maybe Biagio is like the next JoJo villain.
Possibly. Finally, a good villain.
Oh,
But I don't know. I feel like the different levels of Chad. I feel like Aogami. I don't know. I feel like Biagio would have more success with ladies because he enslaved a bunch of nuns. So I feel like Biagio has better feats than Aogami.
Oh, that's
Aogami
true.
just kind of has like
Good point.
Aogami just has like dreams and just creeps people out. but Biagio has actually got some good feats of like just enslaving like
better slave
nuns
feats,
on his
bro.
fucking ship. It's like, what the fuck?
I think Aogami is better described as a Sigma.
That's true, right?
Oh my god, mate! I've just seen like for my own entertainment. I just like search like like the alpha male fucking videos of like people just rinsing on them, just how stupid they are. Bro, that's the kind of content I enjoy watching. Just people just making fun of that. Oh, funny. Let's scroll. So many comments. I know there's a few on Twitter, but I'm trying to go for the YouTube ones first. Same person asking again. Okay. Realistically, when do you think we'll get a New Testament anime?
I
don't know.
within 5 years, hopefully.
2025.
Maybe? Sure, I'll put my money on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Oh, Accelerator himself asks, based on your current information, do you expect Genesis Testament 5 to be good or bad? So I guess this is just for me and Malcolm. I think, like, from what I've read so far, like, it's definitely made me intrigued. Like, it's added some stuff which I was not expecting at all. Even from, like, obviously I've only just read the preview, which is out. But yeah, it's definitely made me intrigued. Like, I like the setup they're going with, in a way, but I definitely have a lot of questions regarding something in particular. But I obviously won't go into detail because of spoilers. Yeah, what about email?
I haven't read the preview yet. I usually wait for the full first chapter to get translated, so I can just, read in large chunks. But I like Alice in Wonderland and stuff. I've always been a fan of that story. So in terms of like the character, I think that'll be at least fun to read. I feel like there's going to have to be some sort of like random shenanigans to expect. But with everything built up so far and sort of how Alice was talked about at the end of GT4, I think it'll be... I've got high expectations for it. I think we're finally starting to reach that sort of the faster paced build-up that Komachi likes to do sort of at the midpoint with all of his story arcs.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting past the build-up in a way, and we're actually getting to the meat and potatoes of the story, hopefully. But I expect it to be good. Like, I've really enjoyed Genesis Testament so far, and I feel like it's got so much potential at the moment. Like, I can see different plot threads, and I hope like I'm surprised, and I'm sure I will be. I mean, I was expecting some stuff already in the preview, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to what's in store for Genesis Testament. Okay, we'll go to Twitter now. Oh my god, what's this? Okay, yeah, it's the same guy. Okay, Accelerate asks, opinions on Accelerator's current and future character position in Genesis Testament. Again, from me and Mal. Yeah, we won't go into too much detail about this. We'll just keep it short and sweet. Yeah, I think it's good. I wasn't expecting it. It's good.
I hope Komachi takes his time with it. That's what I say. I don't want him to rush into this sort of setup.
Cool. Okay, one for everyone. Kokine. So I spelled, cook.
Yeah.
Do you think Kazakiri will ever come back? Yeah, I mean, probably.
She sort of has to.
Cameo.
I don't see any reason not to. At least in like some greater climax, it feels like she has to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only halfway through New Testament. I have no idea if she comes back in New Testament, but I mean, she seemed important enough in the past where I don't think they would just throw her away.
Yeah, I pretty much say the same thing.
Fair. Okay, Zekre, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, asks, do you think in future we could have the most wanted vampires arc in Toaru? I wish, like, because that's one of the main gripes I have about Old Testament is that, vampires are introduced and nothing really happens with them. That's like one of the things that annoys me the most, even though it's my favorite series, stuff. Yeah, I feel like it would be cool, but it's just like it really depends on Komachi.
I sort of forgive it just because like the whole vampire plot point came during the novel. Komachi was like forced to write last minute.
Yeah, he was kind of experimenting.
Yeah, and considering how he sort of set up Himegami, I can't believe I forgot her name for a bit.
Because even the fucking JC.
But the way they set up her character, what was I saying? I mentioned Himegami once. I completely forget what I was going to talk about regarding her.
She has that ability.
Yeah. Oh, right. They just basically make a joke out of how she doesn't exist. Like that's the point of her character now. Like just me talking about her, I can barely even remember her while I'm literally talking about her. So, I don't think we'll really ever, as much as I'd like to, unless Komachi just suddenly feels inspired to write his vampire stories again. We probably won't see Himegami as a main role for a very, very long time, if ever.
Yeah, I'm doubtful as well. I don't see it happening. Also, Aeon, I don't know if you know, but you're muted.
Funniest thing to do would have Himegami just come up at the very end and like win Toma.
Oh,
that would be the funny troll.
Yeah.
Oh, did you miss like all my Himegami banter, which I was just spouting out?
Yeah, I didn't. You were muted for as soon as like.
No!
You like yelled for a second, and then your mic cut off, and so like somebody may walked into your room or something. Just going with it.
Oh man, I'm disappointed about that. But I was like basically making fun that you forgot Himegami because JC staff forgot about Himegami and made fun of it in the OVA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that feels bad. I don't know what my microphone is stupid sometimes, but yeah. But yeah, what I was saying was like, yeah, just I don't think Komachi will, but I hope like it would because it would clear up, the loose plot point from Old Testament. But it's been so long that I don't think it will happen. But yeah. I just find it funny, like Himegami is the character you forgot. It just had to be her, didn't it? It just had to be her, like the fucking scapegoat.
Literally, as I'm talking about her, she's like literally fading from my memory as I speak of her. So it's just she lives up to her character.
You're being too cruel. You're being.
I mean, like I like her too, which is the weird part. It's like I'm talking about her and I like this character, and yet at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I love. What?
Oh gosh. Right. Next question. Right. Journey DBZ asks, do you think Index will have a character arc in the future? She had one in, Old Testament, but as for New Testament, we didn't get an awful lot with her. But yeah, I think she will.
I would have a hard time believing that the literal namesake of the series would never get an arc for the remainder of the series.
Yeah,
that's very much possible.
Although she's got a bad rep with some of the fandom, like some fans think she's literally like done nothing even in the light novels, and I'm like, bro, did you even read Old Testament? That scene at the end of World War III where it addresses all the memory shit, like that fucking rounded off a character arc.
Yeah.
But
a lot of it's really weird because like a lot of like the hate for her seems really forced. Like people use the fact that she's making Toma poor and bites his head as a reason to hate the character, when that's clearly just like a joke. Like it's not. If Komachi wrote it, like Komachi isn't writing that as a plot point to be like, oh, this is a serious issue. This is why Toma's poor. It's just like you're looking for reasons to hate her beyond what's actually there. And it's sort of like, it's one thing to find a character sort of like, I understand people being like neutral towards Index, but like straight up hating her, I don't really understand.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Someone's knocking on my door.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, I mean, like, I did make a video about her, but it's kind of shit, to be fair, because I did not really do it that well. Well, it was one of my earlier videos. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy. I feel like it's just because of the anime, really, because in the novels, you kind of get more depth to her character. And yeah, she's basically just her battling with her identity crisis, and that kind of relates to Toma's identity crisis, which he suffers from later with his memory loss, because she doesn't really have a place in the world. She's basically just been told what to do by the church, and she doesn't really have maturity or understanding of the world around her because of how she's been treated.
And to be fair, Index, she wasn't even originally the namesake of the story, because it was originally like what, Lost Memory or Last Memory was the original title, and then they changed it to Index at the last second to stand out more.
Yeah, I do feel like she's. I mean, her gags are more easy to make fun of, I guess, but if you look at her core of a character,
Welcome back.
And even like her relationship with Kazakiri as well, like in Old Testament 16, not Old Testament 6, sorry. That's like one of the most underrated things about her character. What she has that dynamic with Kazakiri, because they're both kind of seen as like Kazakiri sees herself as a monster, and Index kind of, you know, is treated by objects by like society. So they kind of have that interesting contrast between them two. They kind of relate to each other because of that, because they don't really have a understanding of the world around them because of how they're treated by others. So yeah, there's a lot of depth to a character that is not really talked about by anyone apart from me, I feel.
Yeah. It's just a case of, I don't know. To me, there's not really any characters in Index really worth hating. So whenever you have people with like real vitriol towards some of these characters, it's like, whoa, why? Like her name's in the title, but like, no reason to like talk about why she should like die or something. Like whatever.
It's definitely not that deep of a situation.
Yeah, people take it way too far.
Right, let's see if there's more. Another question about accelerating genesis assessment, but we won't answer that because we kind of talked about that. We'll have this as the last one. What do you think could be a reason for a light novel as popular as Toaru is in Japan to not get new seasons quickly? I don't know.
Japan's just always been really bad about that. Like, I mean, think about Attack on Titan or One Punch Man. Like, those were two of the biggest animes of those years, and like even still are now talked about. But even then, like, it took years just to get the second season. And then for One Punch Man, it's like the second season happened, but they gave it to a studio that shouldn't be making One Punch Man season 2. It's just the way they have their committee set up is just the weirdest thing, I think, from a Western point of view.
I'm not sure that these studios are convinced that they need to actually finish their adaptations as much as they feel the need to just promote the source material.
That's true. I've heard that the number one reason for like an anime to exist is usually to sort of garner a bigger audience for light novels. And that's like, if a light novel doesn't grow a lot from its anime, it usually gets canned because it's seen as like not a financially reasonable series to continue.
I feel like in general, even if it's like a popular light novel or a manga, I just feel like if that were the case, there would be a lot more seasons of like many popular series, and there's still high demand for multiple stuff. And it is questioning how it just all works behind the scenes, that some of these series aren't continued, or it just takes like multiple years for the most popular series to get like ongoing stuff. So it's a hard question to answer, but in general, I just think there could be a change behind the scenes that could help speed up everything.
I think also it could just be something that's lost on a Western perspective, because like in Japan, these series like become sort of part of the culture, in that like you go to Tokyo and you see all these advertisements for these series like on trains and all over the walls and billboards and stuff. And so like even though it's taking forever for it to come out, from a Japanese perspective, it's always surrounding you in some regard. You're getting the weekly or monthly updates of the manga and the light novels every couple months. Whereas here, it's a much slower process. So to us, it's like, wow, this takes forever and we're hardly getting anything. But in Japan, you're always getting like fed a little bit at a time until they finally release that next manga or anime or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right. I think we will end it there. We've gone on for long enough, I think. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for
Do you have
having
any
me.
last words?
Yeah. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button to be notification. Join the notification squad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Send
it's
a
like a
few
full
super
English
chats.
breakfast. Yes, thank you, Farren, for that super chat. Oh, well, yeah, it's like a full English breakfast. Thank you, Malcolm. Just
Yeah, for sure.
hitting every single spot. Don't take that wrong way.
Yeah. Malcolm, you got to start up your channel soon. You're killing it already.
Do it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us again, Toonie. I'm sure we'll do this again sometime.
For sure. Thanks for having me. This is always a fun time.
Yeah, it's always fun with the boys to have a random discussion about this very peculiar franchise, but still, we will wait for Index Season 4 at some point.
Yeah, we're
It'll
coping.
We are coping. I remember someone was like saying, "Did you address the title?" I think we did briefly talk about Dengeki Fest, but yeah,
Yeah,
you
30
just fell for my
seconds.
clickbait. Haha. Yes, you fell for my clickbait.
Yeah.
Loaded. Anyway, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Always appreciated. And also, follow these guys in the links in the description, because I've posted all their social media already. Obviously, I'm prepared. So yeah, Toonie's YouTube, Toonie's Twitter, Emerald's YouTube, Malcolm has a YouTube but doesn't really upload anything, but he does have Twitter.
Someday.
I don't know if you even tweet that much.
You will.
But,
I tweet
yeah,
every now
anyway.
and then. I tweet a meme.
Yeah, every now and then there's a meme. But yeah, follow these guys in the description. So yeah, thanks guys. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.